Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Hey, the crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair and Overhaul at everlevelconcrete.com.
All right. No challengers on that one.
No.
Mike Schaefer, he must hate me. He just left.
Yeah.
No, he
didn't even say anything. He didn't even have any takes about anything, including Nebraska basketball. He just walked out. Unbelievable.
You are a liar because Mike said something that I don't necessarily disagree with, but I don't have as much conviction about it.
I'm hearing a lot of people say it.
We have a new take on the take board under Carson Beck to Miami, which I don't really count as a good take because that was already rumored before it happened.
Well, Josh likes to take the layups. And
whoa. No layup.
Look, you got like 3 layups up there. You got Carson Beck to Miami. You got no WNBA season next year, which are both absolutely happening.
Yeah. I mean, one already happened.
And then you got, I will never inhale a drill bit ever.
Still
ridiculous. Like, we had some kids.
At least challenge yourself, Josh.
We had kids from Creighton Prep come in here. And like they were just watching us, they're shadowing us, like watching us like host a show. Yeah,
today?
No, back to this was last week Wednesday and the week before. So back to back weeks too. There was some
molding young minds.
There's some funny stuff that happened.
Were they saying 6, 7?
No. Couple of them were just asleep.
That makes sense.
But others of them were actually awesome and I think have really good features in broadcasting, and they were incredibly attentive and asking great questions. And so shout out Creighton Prep and their broadcasting program. Anyway, what I was going to say though is that, and by the way, rightfully so, they're high school kids here at like 7. Like I would be asleep too. But what I was going to say is that they went and they looked at the take board and they started looking at the take board.
Look at all these takes.
And they were like, wow, did that guy predict Carson Beck to Miami when he was still playing at Georgia? And
kind of.
No, he was in the transfer portal, and there was a tweet that he was probably going to go to Miami.
No. It was because after the girlfriend went to Miami or something like that, right?
Well, now they hate each other. Now they can't stand each other.
Because he's apparently
mean,
quite the
polarizing figure.
Whoa. Yeah. Look it up. He's got some texts out there.
Oh, he's got some Snapchats. That's totally right.
Mr. There's a lot of brave stuff on this board.
Josh
Jordy Ball will be better in 2026. Ooh,
that's sharp.
Thank you for your bravery.
That's scary.
Well, and Josh did.
Look,
Josh has a wrong one.
Yeah.
What is
Josh has a wrong one. Freddie Freeman will retire a Brave.
He's got 2 wrong.
That's
ones.
wrong.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will not be together at Christmas.
We don't know. I didn't specify a year.
Okay, I think that was
any Christmas.
Any Christmas.
So we have to wait.
Spend a Christmas apart. I guarantee
We have to wait until the eternity of Christmas has happened to make sure that one's right.
You know, technically, I mean, 50% of marriages do end in divorce.
That's
so
right.
At that point, Josh Hodgson does have a 50-50 shot because at this point, he's just saying they're not
some
gonna
barbecue.
Did they comment at all on the record predictions? Or the now they were not here when the Matt Rule timeout totals went up yesterday.
I want to add to that, by the way. I'm going to add to that later.
What do you got?
So I think that
he has 24 available timeouts left in the regular season.
I think
how many of them will he take?
He will take 21 timeouts.
So many. I don't think he's going to take.
He's
21.
going to take. Watch.
Admittedly, I went way high simply because I just thought it would be funny.
Connor, he loves his timeouts.
He loves taking timeouts. That's inarguable.
I think he takes 21 timeouts.
But how many of them are questionable timeouts?
5.
Wow.
Whoa. You think he takes 16 good timeouts?
You said yesterday that
16 good timeouts.
You said yesterday that you don't care about first half timeouts.
No, I don't.
If we're getting like granular, he's taking some bad first half timeouts.
Yeah, but none of those matter.
So I'm counting the first half timeouts. Now, here's the better question, okay? That you guys, because it was a great crossover. Here's a better question you missed out on.
It was a happy new year.
Here's a better question you missed out on. How many of those timeouts will come in the third quarter?
A lot.
Out of the 24 timeouts remaining.
So
this
how
season,
about you just do the remaining 12 second half timeouts?
Out of the 12 second half timeouts, how many of them occur in the third quarter?
At least 6.
Really? That's a lot.
Well, I mean, he's good for 1.5 or 2 a game.
It's 1.5.
Yeah.
You think he takes a timeout in the third quarter in every single game, and then in
sometimes two,
and then in 2 more games,
he can take them on back-to-back plays.
He did that against USC last year, didn't he?
There was some bad stuff in a lot of the games.
USC games have been terrible. I think he takes 21 timeouts.
Okay, that's a lot of timeouts.
I'll put it up there.
I hope that. I mean, I don't know. Whatever, you got the timeout.
I mean, look,
I don't think everybody. Somebody should do a timeout study. Honestly,
Brandon Vogel.
Yeah, sure. Oh. Vogel, do it. Like, how many timeouts has he used ever? Or just in his time at Nebraska?
We need a
right two and 3/4 seasons at this point.
You can do that actually easier than you think you can.
Yeah, the numbers are out there.
You get 84 timeouts in a year, right? You get 78 timeouts in a given season. So
I'm going with this. I don't know if that's true or not.
No. 16 times 13, right? 6 times 13. You get 6 timeouts. He played 13 games last season.
Let's do 12. Let's do regular season. Okay, so bowl game timeouts don't count.
You get
bowl game timeouts are fake, just like bowl games.
72 timeouts over a 3-year span. So that's 216 timeouts available to be taken.
Perfect.
Okay. So currently, though, you have to minus the 24. So then you get 100. He's been able to take 192 timeouts.
Over the entirety of 3 years.
The entirety
of the
3 years.
He has not had 24 available to him yet. I wonder how many he's taken out of the 192. The 100.
I'm going to tell you right now.
The 178 so far.
This is no. It's 216 over the.
Okay. Sorry.
216.
Whatever.
I already subtracted 24 from the 216.
All right, perfect.
So he's been able to take 192.
I don't think he's probably taken 100 timeouts yet.
Oh, I think he's taken 100.
There you go. Check it out.
You got to think though, they've been trailing in a lot of those games, right?
Uh-huh.
So they've had to burn their timeouts to stop the clock a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we might have to account for overtime timeouts as well. The bonus timeouts.
Well, there's only
Wisconsin and Illinois.
There's been 2 overtime games.
I'm going to say,
did he use one in that Illinois game? It was a disaster. I don't know.
You think he didn't because that was terrible.
Yeah,
that was a terrible 7 plays and the game was over, something like that.
Yeah, they scored on the first offensive play and then Nebraska went backwards.
So
it must have been 4. Yeah, 5
plays.
5 off game 5 plays,
which is wild. Luke Lindenmeyer, run faster. The Wisconsin, there probably was a timeout in the Wisconsin.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you want to make a prediction? I will do this. I'm going to do this.
All right, Matt, that's it. It's your take 5 today.
This is my homework for today because I'm single male with no wife and no kids.
Hey, everybody loves a good spreadsheet.
How many of the 192 available timeouts do you think Matt Rule has taken?
That have been at his fingertips so far as the coach at Nebraska. I think that he's taken 94 timeouts.
Okay. Josh Hodson?
94 timeouts.
Oh, I'll go 90.
I'm going to go 108.
Too close. All right.
I'm going to go 108.
108 timeouts.
I will find this out.
All right.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Excellent.
And
Schaefer did not have a
you
prediction
asked
on
for
the
it. I provided it.
No, it's good. I'm excited to learn how many timeouts he's taken. Yeah, seriously, great. I bet if you tweeted it out, it'd do some numbers.
I would do some numbies. The only thing that does
numbies, I didn't say numbies.
The only thing that does numbies for me
I didn't say that.
The only thing that does numbies for me is when I tweet out about the zoo. It's really the only thing that I get a ton of traction on.
Do more zoo tweets.
Dude, I tried doing it with Nebraska Crossing, and then nobody. Apparently, Nebraska Crossing doesn't have the same poll as the zoo.
That makes a lot of sense.
Very true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there weren't. When I tweeted out the picture of Nebraska Crossing, there weren't like, "Hey, man, welcome to my city. Enjoy the crossing."
Well, the thing I like about the zoo is when they announce a new project, it's real and it happens. It's not just an idea that someone has proffered to make themselves look good in the eyes of the community. Allegedly.
I like Nebraska Crossing. I'll be back. I'll probably be back.
What'd you do? What'd you get?
Yeah.
So
heard you had some Lego.
Did you make a TikTok?
The backstory is that I've been spending less money on food. And so now I've told you this, I've wanted to do some wardrobe stuff. So I was like, hey, this is and I've been I don't like me going home right away after work and just sitting in my little cellar for 9 hours.
Get out.
I've been trying to get out a little bit more, walking around the old market, walking around. The zoo was a reason for that too. So I went to Nebraska Crossing. I got 5 items for $140.
All right. Let me hear it.
A pair of Nike shoes.
I figured you went to the Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas stores.
I purchased things from the Under Armour and Nike stores.
And you did go to the Adidas store.
And I did go to the Adidas store, and I didn't buy anything.
Okay.
I went to J. Crew. I got a shirt.
Classy.
I went to Lids.
Button down?
No, just a regular. Well, so this is what I was going to tell you. Nebraska Crossing, do they always just have a perpetual clearance sale going on?
Well, there's some parts of the stores in there that actually treat themselves as outlets.
Yeah.
And the outlets is just like the overflow stuff from the actual stores.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some stores in there that are just stores.
Yes.
And you just have to kind of find.
So Lids was one of the stores. So I got caught up in the heat of being at outlet stores.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before I went to Lids, I went to 4 outlet stores.
Yeah.
And I was getting a lot of discounted prices, and I was feeling it. I was like,
you thought you were going to get a fitted for
Dude,
$28.
I went, I got a clean.
This ain't 2002 anymore.
Dude, I went, I got a clean up hat, and I put it down, and he, scanned at the register, and it was $35.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that
I
much.
don't want to pay that. But at that point,
You're locked in.
we're too far gone. And I made friends with the cashier, and I was talking to him about hats and whatnot.
Yeah, you can't put it back at that
I
point.
can't put it back at that point.
No.
So
what
I
hat?
had to-
What's
it
the
was
hat
a
on?
Bears hat. I don't have a Bears hat
Alright.
here in Omaha.
There you
So
go.
I bought my own. And then, dude, J. Crew's got a 70% clearance rack.
Hello.
I was like, better shirt, cheaper than Target.
And
It
you
was
only
awesome.
got one?
Yeah. There weren't great options.
Okay.
I got like a Mark
Clearance
Ruffalo shirt.
Nice. Josh?
It's like a like
Mark Ruffalo?
the purple shirt that he would wear as the Hulk. He was always wearing a purple shirt.
We got to nail these scumbags.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank
Love
you.
Spotlight.
I cannot wait till John and Nick find out about what Spotlight's about.
Do they not know
They
what's
don't know.
going on?
They don't know.
Okay. I saw your quote. So first off, Josh had his quote tweet yesterday of Spotlight, and I almost commented on it as in like, oh my God, that was Ruffalo's best performance, as if he had just watched it and tweeted it out. I didn't know that it was an ongoing joke with the crossover.
Well, it wasn't. We've just been quoting it for some reason lately on the show. I don't know what. Well, Josh always has to remind me why I said it in the first place.
Well, how many of these priests? How many?
Don't say anything.
How many of them?
So we were
All of them.
all of them. We were talking about something, and I busted out the Ruffalo line. We gotta nail these.
I'm surprised you haven't gone to the scene.
They knew
with the little old man when they knocked on his door. He's like, "Yeah, I did it." Yeah, I mean there wasn't anything by it,
Just don't tell John and Nick what it's about. They might be listening to this crossover.
They might.
They are not listening to this crossover.
Here is a well, we can get to this now since you're here and you have a chance to defend yourself.
Oh,
This is from SEAL Team Nick.
I SEAL Team Nick.
I have an opinion. Matt is not 5'10", he's 5'8".
No.
Before the thick soles come into play.
I'm 5'10" and a half without shoes on.
Have I told you about my theory?
Nobody is 5'11".
Nobody's 5'10".
Nobody's 5'10".
Yeah.
See,
everybody says they're 5'10", but nobody's 5'10".
No, I am 5'10". I am actually 5'10".
Nobody's 5'10".
No, I think
You're 5'10", you're 5'9", or 5'8".
So here's the thing. Actually, I disagree. I think that nobody's 5'11".
If you're 6 foot, you're 6 foot.
Here's why nobody's 5'11", right? If you're 5'11", okay,
You're 6 foot.
you're 6 foot.
Mhm.
All right.
That's what everybody would say.
And if you're saying I'm 5'11",
What-
do you know what you are? If you're saying I'm 5'11", do you know what you are?
You're 5'8".
You're 5'10".
You're 5'10" at the most. Like that is the number. I mean, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how tall I am anymore.
Yeah, that's fine.
I assume it's stayed the same for the last 15 years. But like I have just stock put on anytime I'm ever asked my height, whether it's for like a baseball roster back in the day or like a driver's license, I will always say 5'10" without even thinking about it. I'm probably not 5'10". I don't know, but I'm probably not 5'10". So 5'10" is like
you're not.
5'10" is like the maximum, if you are under 5'10", you'll say you're 5'10".
I'll follow with this though. I know guys who say I'm 5'9". Okay. Like I'm 5'9", right?
I respect those people.
I've never really heard a guy say I'm 5'8". I think if you're saying you're 5'10", you're either 5'10", like I'm 5'10", or you're 5'8". I think some 5'9" guys out there are pretty honest. 5'11" doesn't exist though.
Spencer, so you're basically just taking my take, but just an inch larger.
No, yes.
Okay, got it.
Not taking your take.
No. I'm not.
But I think you're there.
You're just adjusting it a little bit.
I am 5'10".
Spencer says on YouTube,
Hi, Spencer.
this is actually not a half bad idea. 1620 should have a roster like a sports team with your weight, your height, your sports teams, and so we all know who you're homering for, or AK who you're honking for.
I think more importantly too, put the teams that you dislike as well.
Good one.
Like who are you? Who should I expect you not to have a well-mannered take?
Yeah,
about?
like I have a weird hatred against the Tampa Bay Rays.
So
that needs to be listed somewhere. That way, when I start talking about the Rays, people know that I'm biased.
So like for me, it's too many teams. I mean the Packers, the Cardinals, the Knicks.
You'd be able to figure all that out though from your sports allegiances.
The Lions.
Do you have any random sports hatred outside of just you hate them because they have traumatized the Bears?
The Knicks for sure. I can't stand the Knicks.
Well, I mean that makes sense. Bulls and Knicks.
The Houston Astros.
Okay.
There we go.
That's a perfect example.
There we go.
I will never ever hope they win or do anything.
All right. Where does that stem from?
Them cheating in 2017.
Okay.
What type of response do you think I'd get if I sent out an email to all the hosts?
I think you'd get a maximum of 2 emails back.
Okay.
1 and 2.
Dang.
Yeah. I think Peterson might play. And I don't think the other 2 would.
Plaquette says Connor Happer, quote, bleep San Diego State.
Yeah, but like that.
I don't hold it against him. I just get bad feelings when I think about him. That is just a.
Is there a random team that
I see that clip? You guys are sick and disgusting on Twitter watching that game all the time. What is wrong with you?
Oh, the San Diego State game?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you people?
I'm trying to
put
think
it
if
away.
there's really like the Houston Astros, I can't stand. Gonzaga.
You hate Gonzaga.
Can't stand Gonzaga. They're frauds. They've always been frauds. They just play in that conference and they win. They only ever play St. Mary's as their big opponent.
That's definitely not true.
And then, well, I'm saying in conference.
I mean, in conference, yes, it's difficult. They are moving to the Pac-12.
Yeah, but it's basically just the Mountain West 2.0.
It is, which is a tough basketball conference. People forget that.
And so they just, they coast. They have a fine November, and then they coast through the conference, and they get this high seed. And then every year we're told, oh, there's Mark Few and Drew Timme and Corey Kispert and Adam Orthan, and they're all going to do it. And then they never follow through. They never actually. Zach Collins, oh my God, he's gonna do it. And then they fall short, and we all have to fall in love with them and respect them. But they, and then also too, this comes from the fact that Northwestern lost to them in the round of 32.
That's it.
And Zach Collins clearly puts his hand through the rim to block a turnaround shot. And if Northwestern, who was making a big run at the time, if they made that shot, they would have won that game.
All right, so not to fact check, but this is what I like to do. So let's take a look at Gonzaga.
How many Final Fours?
So let me just tell you year by year. All right. So last year they were an 8, and they lost in the second round, which is when you're supposed to lose, right? So like we're going with tournament losses over replacement, right?
This is great. Okay.
2 years ago, 24, they were a 5, and they lost in the Sweet 16, which is exactly when you're supposed to lose, right? 3 years ago, they were a 1, and they lost in the. I'm sorry. 3 years ago, they were a 3 and lost in the Elite 8.
Okay.
So that's when you actually got one round further.
Keep going.
Then the year before that, they were a 1 and lost in the Sweet 16.
Not supposed to do that.
Right. That's bad. Then the year before that, they were a 1 and went to the national championship game.
Okay. Supposed to do that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Then there was no tournament. Then they were the Elite 8. 4 lost in the Sweet 16. That's totally normal. 1 lost. People forget. This is not such a bad record. Okay, keep going. They were an 11.
Yeah.
The year before that, and lost in the Sweet 16.
Down here.
That's really good. That's like 2 wins above replacement.
Good for them. Where the Natties? Where the national championships? Where they at?
They were a 2 and lost in the Elite 8. exactly where they're supposed to be.
I got a question for you. If we went ahead and we fact checked your hatred for the Tampa Bay Rays, would it come out as a perfect record?
No, because mine is more abstract.
Okay,
you need to be more abstract.
Mine is I got wronged in a game that Northwestern played in, and then
what year was that?
I've been absolutely. It was 2019.
All right, perfect.
Or sorry, 2016.
2016. That was the year they were in 11.
No, it was the year that they were a 1. So then it would have been.
All right. So it would have been 17.
17.
All right. Should we bring up some memories from that game?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, they went 37-2. Yep, they beat Northwestern after beating South Dakota State.
They were up 40-20 in the first half.
Wow. 79-73.
And Northwestern outplayed them.
Then they went on to beat West Virginia, Xavier, in South Carolina on their way to the national championship.
Look, you asked me random hate. I randomly hate
Gonzaga. No, I that's fine. I just wanted to check and see, like, they always do this and they always do this. Like, it's actually not that bad.
It's not supposed to make
sense.
But
they do have a reputation of that. I will say that people say that about them. They're like, oh, you know, they're not actually bad. But they have changed that over the years because they're way more talented than they used to be, and they play a very, very national non-conference schedule.
It really just stems from Zach Collins putting his hand through the rim.
Got it. That's fine.
And I
just say that.
And I don't really care about facts in that regard.
That's fine. That's fine. That's irrational.
I'm just going to feed into the narrative that people tell me, which that is the
narrative. Whoa. Look at this non-con this year for the Zags.
They play Creighton.
They do next Tuesday. People forget that. They play against Oklahoma on Saturday. They play at Arizona State. They play on a neutral floor against Alabama and Maryland. That is the Players era, correct? I believe that is the HONK Vegas tournament. Then they have a semi away game at Kentucky.
What's a semi away game?
That is in Nashville.
Okay.
They'll be playing Kentucky in Nashville. So they'll call that semi away.
Okay.
And then they have a semi home game with UCLA, which I assume that'll mean it's in Seattle. Yes, it is. Semi away against Oregon, which probably is in Portland, would be my guess. Yep. That is a non-con. Nice job, Gonzaga. Nice job.
Got to get tournament saying that I need a hobby.
Probably. I think you're doing fine. You're just figuring it out. You don't want to force anything.
Yeah.
Should I take up knitting?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, no.
That will not help you. When are you gonna knit? When are you gonna need to knit in your life?
I don't know.
Never.
I do need new hoodies.
Although you do have this kind of soup thing going on.
I'm a good cook.
I think soup and knitting is they kind of go together.
I'm a good cook though.
Like an old lady in a way.
I like to cook. I'm an old lady. Is that what you're trying to give off here?
I mean, if you started knitting, I would definitely start calling you an old lady. You love to make soup, cook for people, and you knit?
Oh, it's Matt Babushka.
I just don't know like what.
The answer to this poll question is yes, by the way.
What?
Do soup and knitting go together?
Yeah, absolutely.
They do.
Now here's
a little soup with a side of knitting.
Yeah, why not? Like crochet. You know,
screw your soup crackers.
Here's my thing.
I got knitting.
People are like, you need a hobby. I have hobbies. I drink beers and I watch sports. That's kind of what I enjoy to do. It's
cool.
That's my hobby.
That's cool. Alex Lincoln says, who in the zone hates Nebraska basketball? I don't think anybody hates Nebraska basketball.
I don't hate Nebraska.
Some obviously more than others, but hate is a strong word. Dan says you're both 5'10". Go back to back right now. See who's taller. Oh,
I'm down.
I mean, Josh, you want to do a play-by-play on this?
I can do a play-by-play.
All right, sure. I by the way, I never claimed that I'm any taller or short. I don't have any takes on this. This is a real measurement in real time. Back to back. Who's taller?
Definitely McMaster.
There you go. Do you think he's 5'10"?
By about half a head, he's taller.
See, the problem is I don't know how tall I am.
I don't think you're 5'10".
Okay. I never claimed to be, except for on my license, which I already told people I was lying on.
Sure.
I think I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of lying too. Because
there it is.
Because
ooh, we've really stumbled upon something.
That's what we were looking for.
What do you mean?
It just felt like it was all building to that point.
I haven't gotten measured in quite a while.
There we go.
I'm
probably 5'8". He's 5'9".
But years ago, I was told I was 5'10", but I might have shrunk. I don't know.
You might have.
Possible.
You might have. People do that, especially when they're old grandmas.
Very confident. It says I'm very confident I am 5'10". Like I'm 90% sure. But I can't act as if like I just, I haven't had a physical in 18 months. So I haven't,
Do we have to get one of those things at the convenience store on your way out so we can see how tall you are?
That'd be cool. What if we started putting little notches on the doors around here? Do you think we should do that?
That would be fun.
That'd be really funny. You know what? We should put one that's like 3 feet off the ground and write Nick Grimm.
Oh, hey, wow.
That'd be funny.
Nick is taller than both of us.
Is he?
Yeah, he definitely is.
Is he?
Nick's a big guy.
I only ever see him sitting down. I never see Nick standing up.
You could do one for like Shane and then write like 2017 on it or something.
We should put one like all the way at the top of the. I didn't get that joke.
That's okay. You don't know Shane.
We should put one like all the way at the top of the door frame and write like Stibbs.
The tallest man.
He's a giant.
The tallest man alive.
I don't know who the tallest guy to ever work here is.
Oh, Ba?
Probably Nick. Yeah.
How tall is he?
Probably, I don't know, probably 6'3", 6'4".
Oh my God, that's way too tall.
I don't think he would have been saying that like during his playing career, but like,
Listed as 6'2" on the 2007-2008 Creighton men's basketball
I thought
roster.
you were going to say listed as 6'2" on the 2007-16-20 The Zone roster.
But when you see him, it's not like he's like, whoa, that guy played basketball. You sort of unassuming in that way.
I love the bit that we just did where you go, is there someone that you just irrationally hate and then you rationally tried to put together my hatred for him?
Well, I had the sense that you were trying to mask the reason why you actually hated him, and I was right.
You're right in a lot of things.
Including?
I wasn't trying to mask. I was just saying I don't like Gonzaga. And then I revealed, it stems from this.
You got to the real point.
The real point is that happened. I got wronged. Okay, I got wrong.
There you go. And
then they've done things that don't deserve my
You were
respect.
that crying kid. That was you.
You know what? I would love to meet him one day. Because you know what he was crying at? The most ridiculous no-call goaltending I've ever seen in my life.
I don't remember anything about that game except for the crying kid.
Well, now they post that crying kid everywhere.
They do.
And it's annoying. And I think that crying kid goes to Northwestern.
Northwestern's been back in the tournament since then, right?
3 times.
Three times in addition to that?
Let's
check it.
Wait. So they played, I can tell you this. I think it's been twice. They've won 3 tournament games. They beat Vanderbilt in round 1 in 2017. They beat Boise State in round 1 of 2023, and they beat FAU in round 1 of 2024. They lost to Gonzaga in the round of 32 the first go around. They lost to UCLA in round of 32 the second go around. They lost to UConn in the round of 32 in the third go.
You got it. 3 second-round appearances.
Now, Brooks Barnheiser went
32.
like 2 of 14 in the UCLA game, and that team had Jaime Jaquez on it. And that UCLA team was a 2 seed. And if Brooks Barnheiser plays a good game, they defeat UCLA and go to Sweet 16. They had no shot against UConn in 2024. They had 0 shot. I thought like that was the Donovan Clingan team. I think Stephon Castle was on that team too. My attitude going into that game was, if UConn is off, Nebraska could do it. Or sorry, Northwestern could do it. And in the first 3 minutes of the game, I was like, UConn is
they
not
lost
off.
to UCLA lost to Gonzaga in the next round.
Yeah.
Not UConn. Not UConn.
No. I didn't say that.
UConn and then
I'm saying Northwestern lost to UConn in 2024.
Oh, okay. I thought
And
you were
I'm
talking
saying
about the
when
UCLA
Northwestern
team.
and when Northwestern played UConn in 2024, I was like, if UConn is off,
Got it.
Nebraska or Northwestern is shot.
Got it. All right.
There you go.
There you go. We can we'll put our rosters up, definitely. 1620thezone.com. Check it out for a variety of different reasons. Matt, enjoy your day. Hopefully
I'm gonna go and buy some things.
No, you're gonna do the timeout study.
No, I'll do that too.
Do the timeout study. I'd be curious to know.
I'm gonna go and buy a poster. And then
Oh yeah, you like poster boards for your
buy a poster.
to show your
Oh yeah, for your board.
And what board? What are you talking about?
Didn't you have your big board?
No. Not poster boards. I'm going to buy like a Jeff Gordon poster.
Oh.
Because I like Jeff Gordon. Number 24.
You going to tack it up on the wall?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I gotta go back to Homer's at some point and see if they have. I'm missing one Adele vinyl.
You can really tell who's
Adele vinyl suit knitting.
Yeah, I know. We're just checking all the boxes for old lady Matt.
Old lady Matt.
All right. See you later. Enjoy your day.
Timeouts.
Check them out. That's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It is Wednesday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. Welcome to the show today. The vibes are good. The weather is nice. Opening honk is tonight. I like that, Josh. Because they're going with opening flight. So we're going with opening honk.
Honk.
Opening honk tonight at the Chai. Exciting.
Sometimes you're iffy on an idea and you roll it out
You
there,
just went there.
And it's well received.
Opening honk. Today on the show, Robin Washut will join us. We'll talk about the honk from the other night on the Nebraska side of things. Mitch Sherman will join us at 11:30. And Frank Caliendo, our dear friend, will join us at 1 o'clock today. And we'll talk about Creighton basketball and what he's, the latest Gruden impression that he has done. And he's got shows coming up in Omaha in January.
That's right.
We'll probably mention that, but
feels like it's our job to mention that.
He just comes on and hangs out, talks about Creighton basketball.
Yeah, that's what he really wants to talk about.
We'll talk about our severe lack of caulk.
Going cockless.
We're missing the caulk at the Chai. And that journey will begin tonight. Also, so that's the lineup part by the referees, John Higgins, Weather Guard. It's Wednesday. I have an opinion coming up at noon today, and we have to squeeze in Big Ten Power Rankings with tiers as well. We'll zip through that coming up right after that as well. I want to hear from you guys, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number, tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. Hello, YouTube streamers. Hi. Comment on the show. You can do that by just watching us on YouTube, or you can watch the stream at 1620thezone.com as well. I got a text here from the 402, Josh.
Hi, 402.
Oh, no, I was excited for Round Ball Rock because Jay's game day. It's almost like somebody isn't in the spirit over there.
It's almost like Robin requested it.
Where
play it twice in an hour.
Where is Round? Oh, is the Robin intro done?
No, I was going to play the whole.
Okay, so that means Round Ball Rock is available. Oh wait, where is it? Where's the Round Ball Rock intro?
I think it's in the file. The files are in the computer.
It's in the computer. We don't have enough space on our thing. We need more spaces.
Well,
Josh.
when you're talking to one of these guests, I could really just
kind of move some stuff around,
yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, people wanted to hear Round Ball Rock because they're in the mood. 'Tis the season, Josh.
Tis the season. Should we do it now?
You could absolutely just hit it. Yeah.
All right.
Oh!
It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get this party started. 1620, The Zone.
Yeah! Now that's more like it. That's more like it. And you'll be hearing that if you're watching the Jason tonight on Peacock.
Johnny Fanta in the house.
Johnny Fanta. Wow, we should have got him to stop by.
Downtown Nikki B.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe it?
That's what they call him.
Just like that, we are indeed back. Elsewhere today on the show, we can talk about our Creighton expectations for today. We haven't really laid that out, so we can squeeze that in today on the show. What in the world are we in for with the last 3 games with Nebraska football? We can recenter things. Congratulations to Nebraska football fans in the program. You are now part of history. History in stats. And a correction on a beer stat that was given to us yesterday.
Love that the media is out here correcting the record when they get it wrong.
It is nice for someone to finally take responsibility and just say, you know what? I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Let me correct it. Let me right my wrong. So thank you to Matt Brown for doing that yesterday. John writes in on the text line, no one wants to hear this. The only thing worse is Basketball Jones. I'll get ready.
Oh, Basketball Jones is a banger.
John loves football, and he does not like Matt Rule. You want to know where Matt Rule doesn't coach, John? Basketball.
Might be an escape.
You might basketball. There's only so many timeouts. There's only so many timeouts.
Didn't they just change the rules last season on the timeouts?
I actually don't like. What is it? 4 and a half? 3?
It's too many.
It's too many, especially at the end of the game. So yeah, if you like coaches taking late game timeouts in appropriate manners, you can watch basketball. It's available for you. All right, that's the setup for today's show. Robin Washut's going to join us on the other side. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday. I have a fun show coming up here on 1620 The Zone. But first, let's talk a little bit about Underdog Fantasy. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties, they're all back. And however you like to get in on the action, you can do it on Underdog. right now in Nebraska. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $100 of bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Plus, with Underdog's quick payouts, you could get your profits fast. So download the app today and use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Player picks, team picks, all on Underdog. Crypto.com predictions powered by Underdog Predict. Trading derivatives involve risk and may not be appropriate for all. For more information, visit nadex.com/rules and underdogfantasy.com/rules. For Crypto.com predictions, the term pick refers to a product traded on CDNA. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-at-terms_DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
The biggest basketball coaching convention of
work on your skill set while you listen.
What?
You don't want them there.
I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut,
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
2 weeks, no round ball rock. Guess what? We like to hold people accountable on this show for their mistakes.
Hey, last week I didn't have anything. This week I have a note to do the intro.
All right,
on my desk. So we are making progress.
So we're on pace for about 5 weeks from now. Robin Washut will have a new open.
When basketball season's over, I'll finally get around to it.
Hi, Robin.
Well, at least we've progressed to
ignoring notes that you write yourself to do something. That's progress. We'll take incremental progress around here.
It is most certainly a step. That is for sure, which is a good thing. All right, basketball. Basketball. The other night, Nebraska beats West Georgia 86-53, and I don't have the BTN Plus access to watch the game, but all I keep hearing about, Robin, is Braden Frager. Is the hype? Is it? It seems kind of real.
Yeah, he looked good. And again, you take the level of competition into play, but in a game where Nebraska really sputtered out of the gates and couldn't buy a bucket for really the first 15 minutes or so, Braden was kind of the guy that took the lid off for him. He hit their first 2 threes. I think they started like 2 of 13 from deep, and Braden had both of them. But not just his scoring. Obviously, he had a big night, 22 points, but he was kind of the guy that brought a little juice to the lineup. His effort defensively he was really active. He was aggressive, fighting through screens, and kind of gave Nebraska a little more punch on the defensive end. And then just as importantly, he kind of set the tone for Nebraska in transition, where when he got the ball, he was charging up court kind of in attack mode. That kind of added an element of aggression to an offense that needed a spark. So that's the kind of stuff that I think, Braden's going to score when he scores, but the kind of intangibles, especially for a team that is looking for ways to replace what Juwan Gary gave him, like that's why Braden is kind of being profiled the way that he is, because he has kind of that element to his game where he's, really athletic, he's physical, and he's a willing defender. And, I think he's kind of one of those guys that tries to impact the game in as many ways as possible. So, he was able to put the ball in the basket and kind of get Nebraska out of a funk there in the first half, and had one of the better freshman debuts in program history. But I think just as valuable was just the way that he was locked in from an effort standpoint on a night where a lot of his teammates kind of were sleepwalking to start that game.
So Jamarcus Lawrence was good in the game. He knocks down 5 3-pointers in his return to Nebraska basketball. I want to zoom in on a couple guys. So Connor Essegian and Price Sanford go a combined 1 of 12 from 3, and those guys play, it's similar, I suppose, types of roles. Sanford is a little bit more, slashy, get a bucket type of guy than Essegian is. Those guys have to be a little bit better, right, in order for Nebraska to kind of reach their potential offensively.
Yeah, for sure. And, that kind of is what Connor Essegian is. You go back to last year, there'd be games when he'd hit 5 or 6 threes, and then other games where he'd go 0 for 7 or whatever. So, you'd like to see a lot more consistency out of him. But the good news is, unlike last year, they have other guys. It was kind of a situation where with Connor wasn't making threes, and if Bryce Williams wasn't making threes, maybe include Juwan Gary in that, nobody else was. Now, both those guys were ice cold, and yet they were still able to, get things going with Jamarcus, with Braden Frager, with kind of a collective effort where that's kind of the hallmark of this team. So yes, for Nebraska to operate at its full potential, those guys hitting threes at a high level is going to be an integral part of that. But, they at least have now a bit of a leeway there where if they do have off nights, they can have other guys that can step up in their shoes. But, with Price, you keep in mind, he was the only player that averaged double figures in both the exhibitions, and that includes the game against BYU. So for now, I'm chalking that up more to just being an off night, but he's too important of a player. He's a starter for a reason, and, they need him to be good far more than he is, from a shooting standpoint, like he was the other night. So the hope is that he'll get back on track here soon. The good news is that he showed that he's one of their more consistent scorers during preseason play. So for now, I'm not overly concerned about that. And with Connor, you just hope that he can find a little more consistency, because that was an issue for him last year.
Last basketball question: What would you say, having seen him a couple times now and once in the real life regular season? what is the defensive identity? What are they trying to accomplish? And I'm not asking this out of like, I don't know what they're doing, but I genuinely like, how do you put this together with what they're trying to be offensively? How does it look defensively so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal is to be as disruptive as possible because, they're athletically really not going to match up very well one-on-one with many of the high major Power 4 teams on their schedule. But they are no strangers to combating that. Like, this isn't the first time Nebraska hasn't had a very athletic team. And the good news is that Nate Lenzer has been really good about finding ways to scheme around that. So I think that you'll see them continue to lean on that defensive system where they trap the baseline, hope that they have enough effort to close out on three-pointers and don't allow all the open threes that burn them so many times in the past. But then I think the part of it is they want to be extremely active with their hands and tip passes and find ways to create turnovers and turn defense into transition offense, because this system is at its very best when they get out and run. So finishing possessions on the defensive glass, I mean, that's going to be as critical as anything.
Yep.
But then also finding ways to disrupt plays by, jumping passing lanes, deflecting balls, and creating steals, those types of things that can get the offense out in transition as much as possible, because they're going to give up points just by kind of the nature of what their roster is. There's going to be bigger, stronger, faster teams that they play more often than not this season. But the hope is that, one, they're able to keep pace offensively on the other end, and two, they're able to be opportunistic enough defensively to create more transition opportunities with, like I said, just being disruptive on the defensive end.
Football-wise, Robin, I thought, by the way, Nebraska basketball is back in action on Saturday at home against FIU. Football-wise, I'm always interested in, like, when this situation is unfortunately arrived for Nebraska, where they have to play the rest of the season without their starting quarterback, and they're coming off of a pretty gut-wrenching loss on Saturday night. What's the mood coming back, and how does it sort of feel, whether it's from the outside or the inside right now? And talking to those guys yesterday and the coaches, how would you describe the attitude and the feel right now around the team, given that, things are a lot different with TJ Lateef at quarterback and with no Dylan Raiola?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. They're saying all the right things. Everybody is 100% backing TJ Lateef and trying to pump up his confidence as much as possible. And, just as importantly, kind of putting the accountability on everybody else around the quarterback to elevate their games. And that's the reality of it. Like, you can't expect TJ to go out there and do all the things that Dylan did, where, there's been games and stretches this season where Dylan's had to do everything. Now the running game is starting to be more effective. They've leaned into being more of a run-first offense. I think that continues. Obviously, now you can incorporate more of the QB run game. So I think that you'll see a bit of a different look from Nebraska offensively. But, the offensive line is still what it is, and it still has struggled in pass protection. Now you got a freshman quarterback back there. Can they keep him clean enough in the pocket to where, you're not just a one-dimensional offense, and he's able to, stretch the ball downfield? That's kind of the unknown. And so I think the program's trying to be as optimistic as possible about a very tough situation for everybody. And I think that's the only way that you can approach this. And if they go out and he plays well in his, homecoming game on Saturday night, then, maybe that confidence and optimism increases tenfold going into your bye week. And then he's got 2 full weeks to prepare even further as QB1. So this Saturday is a huge deal for TJ. It's a huge deal for this offense. And then obviously for the program as a whole to, continue to show some resilience. That's kind of the one good thing about this team, is after every loss, they found a way to bounce back and play well enough to win the following week. And I think they have the opportunity to do that once again. And if they're able to do so, especially considering the circumstances now that they're facing with their quarterback situation, that could be a massive springboard to, giving them a little bit more faith and confidence going into those final 2 at Penn State against Iowa. So again, for the here and now, I think everybody's doing and saying what they're supposed to, but we'll see how that translates when things get for real on Saturday night.
I'm sure that each of you fellas have been asked this in your chat, and I'm going to ask you in this chat. Take your pick: 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, or 9 wins in the regular season for Nebraska football.
I think they still get to 7. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they win Saturday night. Now, carrying that over and beating Penn State, I don't know. I mean, Penn State's obviously not what we thought. That's still a tough game. And, there'll be some unique elements around there with Rule going back and all that stuff. So that's kind of a variable. But I think that if they take care of business and win Saturday night, especially considering all the adversity they're facing right now, then I think you look at that Penn State game a little differently. And then depending what they do against Penn State, maybe you're looking at the Iowa game a little differently. And Iowa's got a critical crossroads game coming up this weekend too, where we'll see once again kind of what they're all about. And so, I think it's kind of a week to week deal, but I think that if they do what I think they can do Saturday and get to 7, then 8 becomes a more realistic scenario. But, if they go out there and struggle and look like garbage in Pasadena, then I'm not going to give them much of a shot the rest of the way. So I still think that they get to at least 7, but that prediction can change in a massive way if they don't do their job out in Pasadena.
All right, Robin, thanks. Oh, by the way, did Nebraska basketball get to exactly 67 points at any point the other night?
Yes, and no one said it was 6-7.
Nobody said anything? No, that's weird. Why did nobody say anything?
Well, you know what? There's some guys that are just the best at what they do, and you're one of them, Connor. So, I
play to the audience.
I wish that you would have been there.
There wasn't 4,000 kids, and only 4,000 kids at that game. So, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Well, you know what? It was game 1 for everybody. We can only get better from here.
Thanks, Robin. See ya.
See ya.
Robin Washut from HuskerOnline.com. Wow, they got to 6-7 and no one did anything?
It's right there.
You bet your ass. Creighton gets 6-7 tonight. I'm turning on my microphone. I don't care what point. I don't care what's going on in the game. South Dakota's getting out in transition. Creighton's winning by 2. I'm like, 6-7. No, just kidding. All right, we'll be back. 11 o'clock hours coming up. Mitch Sherman will join us at 11:30. And, of course, I have an opinion coming up at noon. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Wow. Black Cat just sent me a tweet from Oakland women's basketball. Apparently they were having their kids' day as well. And them kids went ham for 6-7. And the PA announcer in the background, like, there was nothing subtle about it. I heard him screaming. I didn't hear exactly what he was saying, but there was some. I just went with the old casual, like, toss it in there. 6-7.
6-7.
That guy went for it. Damn.
Okay.
So apparently it's a thing, and this is traditionally what happens, especially in women's basketball. Like, you get started on the first day, and you have your kids' day, and you played at noon or whatever it is, and have all the kids come out, and yeah, that was definitely going on Monday at Pinnacle Bank Arena. All right, 11 o'clock hour. Welcome back. Also, I forgot to mention this from earlier. We have Mavs hockey tickets. That's right.
Whoa.
Mavs hockey tickets. They play North Dakota on Saturday night.
Oh, we need as many Mavs fans in the building. We got to pack the Baxter.
And so let's do it this way. Let's do, if you submit an opinion for I Have an Opinion, Josh will select someone at random, slide in the DMs or whatever it might be, or text after the show, and you could win Mavs tickets, a pair of Mavs tickets for Saturday night.
3 straight wins over ranked opponents with number 8 North Dakota coming to town.
The Mavs are feeling good right now. All right, excellent. So stay tuned for that coming up. Also, we should mention that it is it's not technically 1620 The Zone night. It's like, NRG Media night. Like, there's going to be a bunch of people who work in this building who are going to be taking a part in the game.
That's right.
On Saturday night for where the game sponsor, I believe, NRG Media is. So excellent time to go check out the Mavs on Saturday. Also, 4-quarter pick'em. Get those picks in right now. 1620thezone.com. All right, Josh. So the question that I just asked Robin is, I'd like to know an answer from you. 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. Where are we sitting? Right? And it doesn't have to be like a hard, like, I'm going to hold you to it. Just like, let's pretend we're back in the preseason, and it's the kind of this floating number of like, oh, I think I'm probably sitting at about 7 wins right now, but I could be bumped up to 8, or I'm closer to 6 than 7, or I'm closer to 8 than 7, or I'm closer to 9 than 8, whatever it might be. Where are you at right now with Nebraska's 3 remaining games, knowing that they already have 6 in the bucket?
I feel a lot like Robin, where today
if you get one,
I'm going to
get
say
2.
Today I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
And then
Me too.
Kind of based on how it looks, go from there.
Me too. And I think, I don't know if we could all agree on this, but if there is only one win, isn't it the most likely that win is Saturday in the Rose Bowl?
So.
I mean, I think that's the worst team out of the 3 that you're going to play. I know UCLA beat Penn State, but famously UCLA beat Penn State. But I think that's the worst team out of the 3. But there's so much. I mean, if you're telling me right now, it's all dependent on the opponents as well. Like, I don't know what Nebraska's going to get from Penn State. I don't know what kind of motivation that they're going to have for that game, and their season's long been over. Iowa, what kind of team are you going to be running into Iowa? And it's going to be a close game. Like, is it, will Nebraska make the plays in the 4th quarter of that game? History says no, but maybe this is the year they kind of find one in this. So I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Iowa. I wouldn't be totally shocked if they beat Iowa. It's like that's solely dependent on how good your quarterback play is. It never has been about that against Iowa. And it's a home game for Nebraska. So, like, you could convince me of a lot of different things that are going to happen in these last 3 games. I would agree with you right now. I would say if you're making me pick a number, gun to my head, I would say 7 at this moment. But then we get into, okay, what are and we love talking about narratives around here.
Yeah.
A specific someone loves talking about narratives and diffusing narratives and arguing against narratives and things like that. Nobody who's in this room right now,
okay.
Josh. So I've always said that I kind of like Nebraska under Rule in this sort of situation, right? Nobody really believes in him. Back's kind of up against the wall. It's not like but like the motivation factor, it's pretty clear going into these games are just giant. I mean, Nebraska laid an egg against Minnesota because it didn't seem like they were motivated and they were distracted and whatever it might be. I don't want to put sweeping generalizations over the thing, but it didn't feel like Nebraska was properly motivated for that game. It did feel like Nebraska was properly motivated for USC, and they played well enough to win it. It felt like Nebraska was properly motivated for Michigan, and they fell short at the end of the game and during the game. So, like, I think Nebraska will kind of rally together and band together and play well enough to win all these 3 games. I don't think they're in for any of these stinkers over the last 3, but in part because their back is up against the wall. I think Rule is a really good motivator from this position. And it might be worth something. And he knows as well as anybody, he is, spoiler alert, he is Mr. Narrative that we were talking about before.
Oh.
He knows as well as anybody, and maybe we're not thinking about it this way, and maybe there's some couching of emotions because, hey, you're going into these last 3 games of the season without your starting quarterback, and it's like, oh, what could really be expected of us? But they went 5-7 in the first year after starting 5-3. They went 6-7 or 7-6 after in the second year after starting 5-1, right? And so if they start 6-1 in this season and end up 6-6, or I'm sorry, 5-1 and end up 6-6, then that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Just looking at it from a 40,000 foot view. And I know that, like I said, it's with your backup quarterback and what could really be expected. But we were talking about it a little bit yesterday. Whether you like it or not, we are getting closer and closer to seeing this project, the Matt Rule and I don't say that disparagingly. I just say it's a new coach and it's a new regime. It's a project, right? In that way, we are closer and closer to seeing what this is going to be like at full mass. Like, this is the end of year 3. You're supposed to be whatever you're going to be. Hopefully, theoretically, by now. But we are at the point in the Matt Rule era where it is appropriate to judge off of wins and losses bare bones and not just this abstract, like, oh, they're trying and it looks better, right? Mm-hmm. It does look better. They've already checked that box.
Absolutely.
They're definitely trying, but that makes it even more damning when you lose those games and you're getting to the point where you're at the full sort of force of whatever this is going to be. So he knows as well as anybody that I believe this is a defining month for Nebraska football under Matt Rule. Whether you like it or not, losing 3 in the last 3 and going 6-6 would be a complete disaster.
Well, sure. I mean, that would
lose
4 in a row.
Oh no, disaster. Yeah, right. That you lose every game in the month of November after starting 6-1.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea! Oh my goodness!
And you'd be able to say, going into next year, oh, we get Dylan back, and
Do you?
Fair, right? Like, if they end up 6-6 and everything feels horrible around here after this season, I don't know who enters the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. I don't know who goes where, and I don't know who comes here, right? All this recruiting momentum that you built from the 6-1 start and the blackout and all of that stuff, does it fizzle as we get closer to signing day? Because remember, the last signing day is in December, and the last thing you're going to see is Nebraska losing all of their games throughout the month of November. So this is a defining month because we're coming to fruition and we're getting to that point. And so it would be I know that there's ways out of it, and you're not doomed, right? You're not doomed forever and ever if you go 6-6 this year. But I think from a mental perspective, given that a lot of people are already like, I don't know about this rule guy anyway, some people, I'm not sure whether he's going to be the guy, or I'm not sure whether he's going to be this or that. It could be a tough thing to recover from. And we know how it works around here. Once people decide that this just ain't going to work, it's very rare that you win them back after that. And in the first 3 years, going exactly 500 after being 2 games plus 500, and then 4 games plus 500, and then 5 games plus 500 in each of the first 3 years, and ending up exactly 500 overall. That's a really, really tough one.
I just don't know.
I know it'd be a game under.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you'd have a bowl game, so you could go exactly 500.
I just don't know if people are going to go, well, I didn't have the starting quarterback the last month of the season. I just don't know that.
I don't know.
They're going to get that grace from the fan base.
It's defining, and it is a defining month, and it's about how it feels. And so I don't mean to be so negative. Let's flip it over the other way. Winning 2 or 3, both on the table for Nebraska, could 100% be a real springboard for whatever comes next in the rule era. Given that things are where they're at right now, like if you would have told me before the season that 8-4, provides the springboard that they need to go to the next level, I would have told you exactly this. I would have said, I don't know about that. I'd have to see how it would look. And how it would look if Nebraska finishes 8-4 this year is they win 2 out of 3 games. One of them's against your biggest rival at home, and the other 2 are cross-country road trips in weird to difficult to questionable environments, whatever that might be, but it's 2 road games cross-country, and it's a home game against your biggest rival. If they get to that 8 this year, then yes, that would provide the springboard for wherever you're going next. Then it would not be very difficult to say, all right, now we go. We got playmakers. We were a young team last year. We lost a couple close games that we wish could have back, but that doesn't look so bad anymore because we got our way to 8. We won a couple games that were close and within the margin. And we got Dylan coming back, and they're obviously going to do fine in the transfer portal and whatever they do to address the offensive line and the defense, and specifically the defensive line, gets a year better. And it would not be hard to have a hype-filled offseason around here if Nebraska wins 8. I don't know where that all lands if they win 7. I do know where it lands if they win 6. So this is defining, and it's about wins and losses. And I know there's always there's number 1, how does it look? And there's number 2, there's always going to be the caveat of you don't have your starting quarterback. And people will say, if they lose by 2, well, if they would have had their starting quarterback, they would have won those games. Dana said yesterday, Dana Holgerson, he said yesterday, I'm trying to get the phrasing right. I think he said something along the lines of, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that we were going to go down and score and win that game against USC. I don't know that it was that drastic of a feeling for me during the game, from the when Dylan was in to when Dylan was out. I still kind of felt like Nebraska was gonna win even when he did leave the game.
Oh, okay.
And then, because they were up 14-6 at that point, and their defense is playing pretty dang well. And then he also said yesterday something that that I thought was interesting too. It was, he explained the situation that he had when he was the coach at West Virginia, and Will Greer, their stud starting quarterback, went out. He said, we were up by 10 against Texas, and then Will Greer broke his finger and he had to go out, and he said they showed it on the video board, and it just cast a big cloud over the entire thing. They lost to Texas. season went down the tubes, and that was that. He said that he did not feel that on Saturday in Lincoln when Dylan went out. And I think most of that probably is just because the charged up atmosphere of the environment and all that stuff in Nebraska. Obviously still had a really good chance to win the game, even though they said they were up by 10 against Texas in that game. I didn't double check that game to see exactly what happened. But, so I thought that was sort of fascinating about yesterday. And I think it should lead you to holding them to these games. I think they should be held to these games. I don't think you get throwaways just because you lost your starting quarterback. It's a tough draw. Sometimes you get dealt a 16 against, and you don't know what to do with it. Well, you do know what to do with it. You hit it against a face card. You just got to hit it, and you're just like, damn, this sucks. Why did I get a 16? Woe is me. Why did I get a 15? And you just have to deal with it. And I think you should be holding the coaching staff to how they prepare around TJ Lateef and what kind of efforts and specifically what kind of results they put forth in the next 3 games. Because like I said, it will dictate how you feel for the next 9 months. Not to make it too overly serious, but like, this is big. If they win 8, you're like, hell yes, we're going to the bowl game, sweet, whatever happens. But I always talk about how seasons end, right? So, and I use the example of after Frost's first year in 2018, they started 0-6. They went 4-2 down the stretch. They lost to Iowa at the end of the game, and I'm like, this is if we could play Iowa again right now, I want that. If we could play the first game of next season right now, I want that. And then the very next year, they won one more game in the regular season, but it's about the context, right? They won more game in the regular season, and they lost to Iowa in the exact same way, pretty much. And I was like, I need a break from football for the next several months. I think I just want to quit football. Probably football sucks, actually. And so
I'd be ecstatic if they won 2 of these last 3.
Yep. And that makes and how that season ends, specifically against the Iowa game, and what you do in your next 3, you're going to be feeling probably one way or the other. And maybe there's an in between, given that the Dylan of it all. But there's a lot on the line in these 3 games, and TJ Lateef is your starting quarterback, so they got to figure it out one way or the other. Let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here is Joe. Good morning, Joe. What's up?
What is up? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. We're the king of spinning it for the off season. And I agree with you, though, as far as, man, these games matter, but everybody's dealing with something, right? Like Penn State, new coach. UCLA needs a new coach. Penn State's their second quarterback, right? And their starting quarterback out for the year.
Yep.
Their season completely, how many of their players will even be in that game? Will they be transferring out by the time we get there? Right? We have a bye week after UCLA, but so everybody's dealing with something. I think we win, I think we beat UCLA. I'm a 1 week at a time type of guy.
Okay.
But, right. But we are the king of spinning it in the off season, and some of that spinning. I think the the defense could be really good next year if they keep everybody back, right? Like that could be, you want to talk about how things feel and how things look. Well, a bunch of players just absolutely don't want to come back, which I don't foresee that happening. I think a lot of them are happy, and I think Rule could sell them on the fact of, hey, we're young, we can actually be something next year, but that's all yet to be seen. I'll also throw a quick shout out. Husker Wrestling opened the season. What's that?
Bud. So Bud Crawford's getting him going.
Yeah, well, no, Bud Crawford's going to. Well, they opened the season with a tournament win at the Navy Classic, which they've done. I think they've won it like 4 or 5 years in a row. But anyway, yeah, they got Bud Crawford coming. They got Burroughs is coming. They're going to have a big celebration this Friday at 6 p.m. Tickets are pretty cheap. I'll be there. So Husker Wrestling, once again, ranked number 2. They got a really tough schedule this season. They wrestle some monsters. But, hey, if you want to be the big dog, you gotta go up against the big dog. So
hell yeah, Joe.
I got.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. So, yeah, by the way, I part of the Kids Day thing on Monday at Nebraska, they had a bunch of the student athletes from other programs come up and like talk to the kids and whatever. And the Husker wrestling guys did really good. And they gave really good talks. And then the two volleyball players were at the end, and they were just like, they were very interactive. I was amazed. Those student athletes that were selected for that, they did a really nice job. It's hard to talk to kids,
absolutely.
As a college kid,
Yeah.
like, what am I supposed to say to these kids? How am I supposed to connect with them?
Yeah,
they did a really good job. So yeah, Husker wrestling be rolling this year. Whopper, 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 whopper.
Hi, whopper, 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 whopper.
As a similar sentiment to Joe there, as Joe said, the king of spin. He said Husker fans would absolutely say, well, we didn't have Dylan their way around 6-6. Have you seen the reaction to Saturday's loss? There's more anger directed at people upset about the loss than anything else. The fan base has become apathetic to the win-loss columns. Yeah, there's always going to be a way to spin it, but at a certain point, I mean, you're gonna be finished with year 3, and like there will whopper, 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 a hamburger is right. There will always be optimism.
Sure.
There will always be optimism. But like I said, is it warranted? Is it real? You don't know until the clock hits 000 in Lincoln on Black Friday. And then I guess the bowl game too, whatever. But when the clock hits 000, I want everybody to make note on Black Friday. Set a reminder for your calendar about 3:00 on Black Friday and ask yourself, how do I feel right now? How do I feel about Nebraska football?
You can tune into Big Red Overreaction and find out how people feel.
How people feel, but I want to know I want you to make note of how you feel. Do you want to go hit somebody? Do you want to go play again right now? You want to roll the ball out there? Or do you want to say, actually, football, not even a good sport. Thank you, Nebrasketball. You could be saying that to yourself. So take stock, take note. But yes, you're right, hamburger. There will always be the spin. Alex Lincoln says may feel like a concussion.
Oh no,
a little woozy. Who knows? Also a text from John.
Hi, John.
After the way Nebraska basketball played the first half of their opener, has Josh canceled them yet? What a question.
I got ready to say some things knowing full well that they would
you
pull
can't
through
cancel them on November 3rd,
no.
Josh.
No,
wait till at least December.
If they had lost to West Georgia, we might be having some conversations. But I knew they would breeze through the second half. So I didn't.
Of course, you knew that.
I didn't prepare too many things on.
Okay.
Boy, did you see those guys?
Didn't take too many precautions there.
No,
okay.
No.
All right. Just when the time it's like with the how you feel at the end of the season. You know it when you know it.
Mm-hmm.
When the time is right, Josh will cancel Nebraska basketball.
Mm-hmm. And then they'll rattle off many wins in a row just to spite me.
We'll be back with Mitch Sherman from The Athletic after this on 1620 The Zone.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic. On the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
He can play.
Hey, news snuck under the radar yesterday that our dear Prince, King, whatever it might be, Salvador Perez, signed a 2-year contract extension, which will likely allow him to retire a Kansas City Royal. So Mitch Sherman joins us now. And, well, I don't know. He could play for 100 more years and never lose a step. I don't know. So firmly on the Mount Rushmore, number 2 on the Mount Rushmore, Mitch, for Salvador Perez as a Royal.
I think that'll be the case, because I think he's going to cement that by getting into Cooperstown. So,
and maybe another World Series.
Oh yeah, I mean that goes without saying, right? In the next 2 years.
Yeah, they're definitely ready for that.
Going to retire anywhere else other than Kansas City? Like I didn't see Salvi signing with another signing with the Marlins or something like that. It was always going to be Kansas City, but it's just nice to know now that there's a time on it. He's going to play 2 more years. Okay. I mean, maybe the second year he'll be the player manager or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's it. I think this is a nice send off deal, and then he can retire at the end of 27.
It would be very difficult and honestly painful to imagine him in a different uniform, specifically at this point in his career. Maybe a few years ago, not quite as much, but now, yeah, not even close. All right.
He's one of a very, very small number of Royals that you could say that about.
He really is.
I've said that about Brett and about George Brett, and you would have probably said that about Alex Gordon. I think it would have been really painful for a lot of people to see Alex at the end go play somewhere else.
Yeah, and so that pretty much guarantees that.
That's
it. And yeah, he'll probably be as productive as he's ever been, because I cannot bet on him to take a step back ever at any point, because he just keeps producing unbelievably so.
I will say I will also put Bobby Witt Jr. in that category, but he's so young that it's a kind of a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah, that one I could see, unfortunately, at this point. But
I would hate to see it.
I would hate to see it. Exactly. Yeah. So that would go high on my hate to see list. All right, Mitch. So we were just talking about this in the last segment. I'll just leave it open. How defining of a month is this for the Matt Rule era, given that all the caveats, they're without their quarterback, but it does feel like they need to still take a step as a program, and 6-6 might be a really, really difficult thing to swallow. You'd be, we're floating around 500 for each of the first 3 years of Matt Rule. How big of a month is this for Nebraska football, all things considered?
Yeah, if they want to take a step, I think they need to take a step. I mean, you say need, and it's like, well, okay, what if they don't? And then they're going to play in 2026, but it's going to hurt their chances to make that jump in 2026. Every year you fail to take a step, then it makes it more difficult to do it moving forward. So for that reason, it's really important to do it this year, and that would mean to win something. And you can't go 0 for November. And I mean, really, if you win one of these 3 November games, then it puts a lot on the bowl game, because I think an 8-win season, no matter how you look at it, like you can spin that as progress. It would sure be nice for Matt Rule and for Nebraska to get to that 8 number by December 1st or by November 28th.
You're right. The bowl game does add an extra, because I always say, like, how you feel after the Iowa game is a really good, it's a really good barometer for how the offseason is going to go and all that stuff. But you do have you have the potential for a little extra credit, I suppose, in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. I mean, it's going to really, I think, depend on what this month looks like. It's not all just about. I mean, they have to. They can't go over, but it kind of it matters, I think, what it looks like too, and they're at a place at several positions now, especially on the offensive side, where they just can't sustain any more injuries. And if they do, then it will greatly further limit their chances to score points. And it's hard to win games if you can't score points. So yeah, and that gets taken into consideration. I mean, I don't think they get a pass for anything because this is the team that they began the season with, and they knew what the shortcomings might or might not be based off the roster that they built over 2 full years. So you don't put an asterisk next to it or give them a free one, but it will, how it looks and who stays healthy. It will, I think, factor some in how we view it in a month.
Isn't it? I was thinking about this, and there was a stat yesterday, or a graph that came out of like how many. So it says which teams have won more than they probably should have, and like Nebraska is close to one more win, I guess, than they should have at this point. Just as far as the stats are concerned, it just underscores this: how far, like, how it'd be mean to say how like mediocre they are, but how in the area of so many other teams in college football they are, and how these games are going to be close. And I don't know, does it feel like they've taken the appropriate steps to sort of find a way to win those types of games because they're not stopping anytime soon?
Yeah, and that shouldn't come as any surprise that they're right there in the middle part with the bulk of college football teams, at least in the Power Five, because a few years ago they were not there. They were below that area. So they've moved up. I think that they're more prepared now to win those kind of games because they, A, have better special teams. B, they have fixed to some degree what was a huge issue with turnovers for a long, long time. You know, we almost forget about that one because Nebraska was all right in the turnover category last year, and they're decent this year, not giving games away because they turned it over 5 times. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, think about minus 17 in 2023. And then there were some years in the Scott Frost era that were just as bad or close to it. So they fixed that. Special teams are better. And then I think just the like lack of overall drama in the program. It's in a more stable place than it has been in a while. That all of those things come together to lead you to believe that Nebraska is in a spot where it can break even, or you hope better in games that are going to come down to the fourth quarter, which you're right, will be a lot of them.
+3 in the turnover margin right now for Nebraska, which is certainly better than definitely better than minus 17, as you mentioned before. So speaking of that, it sort of transitions well into the next question I was going to ask you. And I said this yesterday too. I thought that I thought the plan for this team this year was going to be a little bit more explosive on both sides of the ball, whether that means turnovers and sacks on defense. Haven't been able to do it as much maybe as you wanted to. And then offensively, I just feel like they've been a little bit more conservative than I expected them to be. So with that being said, Mitch, now that we can look back on Dylan Raiola's season and back on the first 2 years of his career here, how would you say maybe it's not quite as simple as like, how is it gone, but how have they utilized him effectively yet? Have they found the way to make it work with Dylan Raiola as their quarterback?
I would say no. I would say that there is a lot more that he has to give. And he made strides this year, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's a big jump over a year ago. Statistically, some other areas are improved. But yeah, when you're looking for that ultimate difference maker type of player in college football, that's what the expectation was coming in, that he could be. Just a big play waiting to happen. He's ready to throw the next 50-yard deep ball that is wowing everyone across the country. He has that kind of arm, and that's not really what the Nebraska offense is built around. I mean, they've built this thing, and this is definitely the Rule influence and like his style.
Yep.
He'll be the first to tell you that his teams have always been defensive oriented and smart about the way that they play offense, and the objective is to win games in the fourth quarter. It's an NFL type mentality that served him well when he was at Baylor and served him well at Temple. And it's what this team ended up being, despite Dana Holgerson's influence as something that's quite different with what he's done with his offenses historically in college football. So they're going to have to find next year a way to, I think, better match those two philosophies, marry those two philosophies. It wasn't like a failed marriage this year when you look at the 9 games offensively that and the way that they went for the Holgerson Rule combo. I think if Dylan had stayed healthy on Saturday night and this was still the end of his time as a sophomore at Nebraska, you'd be looking back and saying that they were 7-2. I think Nebraska would have won that game if Dylan remained in it for 4 quarters against USC. And that's by no means a failure, 7-2. But yeah, they could have done, and I think still can going ahead, a lot more offensively to be, explosive is the best way to put it on that side of the ball in 2026.
I totally agree with you. And I think that's the right way to put it. Like there's more meat on that bone that they just haven't been able to kind of like unlock yet. And like you said, a lot of it is because just the way that Rule, wants to try and win football games. So I wonder if there's a conversation in the offseason with, specifically those 3, Raiola, Rule, and Holgerson about like, okay, what do we do and how do we? Because if he wants to be an NFL quarterback, Mitch, like he does, the talent will take him a long way, but he's got to have some stats, and the stats aren't necessarily eye popping so far. Like I think that is one thing that is still on the table for him in his 3rd year at Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, NFL quarterbacks have to prove that they can win games, and he showed that this year with the way that they got it done at Maryland. That's one game, though. It's not, I suppose you can look at the Northwestern game, but it needs to happen on a bigger level, on a higher level, and I'm not saying that that's the only way he can be an NFL quarterback. I think he's an NFL quarterback regardless because of his physical talents, and he'll do well in the combine and things like that. But to get to a place where you live up to your 5-star talent and end up at the next level in the way that he was projected to be when he got to Nebraska and when he was committed to Ohio State and Georgia before coming here, then yeah, it's gonna require more in 2026 on the field.
All right, Mitch, we will let you go. Appreciate it as always. Thanks, and we will talk to you later.
All right, thanks a lot.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic, also of the Locked On Nebraska podcast. It's an interesting topic. Now you could sort of look at it in postmortem, like, have they used Dylan Raiola right? Have they done all they? There was talk this week of like, hey, we're going to do everything we can to be good around TJ Lateef. Have they done that with Dylan? Have they put enough people around him from a skill position standpoint? I think yes. Offensive line, we'll see.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Sure.
Are they in the right offense to get the best out of him? I don't believe so. But that wasn't the point initially. But if you're not getting the best out of him and he's not becoming what he wants to become, which is an NFL quarterback, and you're not winning enough, then something needs to be recalibrated in the offseason, and we'll see what that might be. We'll take a break. Josh has the odd news. Don't forget to get your opinions in for I Have an Opinion coming up at noon. And there is incentive because if you share an opinion with us, you may win Omaha Maverick hockey tickets for Saturday night against North Dakota. So that'll be coming up at noon. Odd news is next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Checked out the forecast from dear friend Rusty Lord. 39 on Sunday.
Yeah,
might want to get a big bowl of chili because it's gonna be chili.
Some precipitation of some kind on Saturday.
Josh made the claim during the break. He said, "Are we in chopping off weeks territory?" I don't think we are.
I hope we're not.
This doesn't feel like gravy yet. It feels like we are where we should be. I think the chopping off weeks thing starts like Thanksgiving.
We've had a fall this year.
It's been very mild and pleasant around here in a general sense. Like when you get to maybe that starting that week after Thanksgiving, basically the start of December, and you look at that weekly forecast and it says 46, 48, 52, 42. You're like,
I'll take that.
Check. Done. I made it through a week of winter without being in massive discomfort. Those are the weeks that we're talking about, and they start very, very soon. All right, Josh, what do we got on the odd news today?
Well, we begin in Maine, where Maine Health has apologized for sending death notices to over 500 people who are currently alive.
What's a death notice? You've died?
So-and-so has died. Please update your records, I guess.
Okay.
Officials for Maine's largest healthcare provider, it's like being the tallest short person, have apologized for sending their condolences to hundreds of people who are still alive. A computer system error caused Maine health officials to send letters of condolence to more than 500 living people to inform their next of kin of their reported death.
So it sent a letter to
the next
their
of kin.
family. Okay, that is very difficult. I was like, if they sent it to you, I would just throw it in the trash.
I'm not dead.
Yeah,
I know better.
Just throw it in the trash. It'd be like every other piece of junk mail I've ever got.
Maine Health sincerely regrets this error, they said in a prepared statement. 531 letters were sent out. The cause of the mistake was a computer program that generates estate vendor letters. There were no medical records that listed the individuals as dead, and the computer error has been fixed and corrected to prevent future occurrences.
That's good. That's good. Computers get thrown under the bus all the time.
Absolutely.
Whenever someone makes a mistake, a computer gets thrown under the bus.
Because
it's always the computer's fault.
If I blame the computer,
you can't ask me any questions.
Yeah, you can't ask me any questions, and you will inevitably go, my computer frustrates me all the time too.
Classic. I have computer problems right now.
Yep.
I mean, we do that all the time on 1620 The Zone.
Yep.
We're just yelling at computers about 40% of the day.
There's so many of them.
There's so many, and they're all so bad.
They are. We go to MyrtleBeachOnline.com.
Whoa. Greg and MyrtleBeachOnline.com.
I don't know who the driver was. Make your own jokes after the story. Okay, everyone? A report of someone stunt driving at night in a church parking lot grew even stranger when officers discovered the driver was not wearing pants, according to investigators.
That is strange.
Happened November 2nd at a church. Officers responded around 10:45 p.m. to the report of a nude man driving recklessly. When they arrived, officers found empty beer cans and tire marks consistent with the vehicle spinning in circles.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's really just the driving recklessly.
Yeah, I don't know if the naked is illegal here. I mean, it probably is illegal to drive naked, but
it does make it more odd. It lands it on this segment.
Yeah, it elevates it for sure.
But what kind of truck are we talking about? How did the person see whether the person had pants or not?
Now, that's a great question. I don't have an answer for you on that one. While patrolling the area, officers received another call about a car stopped in the roadway with its horn blaring, blocking traffic. The driver was found wearing only underwear and a tank top with a blanket or robe wrapped around him. The 36-year-old man smelled strongly of alcohol, police said.
Well, that's the problem.
I don't think that was the problem because they searched his vehicle afterwards, revealing a scale and a white powder that tested positive for cocaine.
Okay, so he's got a couple problems.
Couple different problems here.
So as long as he's not drunk or on coke, he might get away with this.
It seems like he could have if he wanted to. They didn't catch him in the parking lot. They caught him down the road blocking traffic, apparently.
Yeah. Is this a truck driver, like a semi-truck driver? This is just a truck.
Just a truck.
Okay. Because I was thinking about
got me in my big pickup truck.
I was thinking, like, if I was a semi-truck driver, I would never have pants on. Why the hell would I have pants on?
Oh,
I'd be like the guy with the blanket over my lap.
Yeah, you can't see up and into the cab of a semi
unless you're in another semi.
And even
at that point,
they would understand. Hey, what's up, bro? You've
been driving for 17 straight hours. Why would you need pants or shoes or You can hop in the back, put pants on.
Yeah,
You
if
got
I'm going to
privacy.
stop at the world's largest truck stop or whatever,
Which you are.
I'm going to put pants on.
Yeah. So I was trying to level with them a little bit, but not so much.
Yeah. Kind of ran out of chances with the beer and the Coke and whatnot.
Yep.
Finally, we go to Paris, where they are launching a lottery to get yourself buried next to famous celebrities like Jim Morrison, Oscar Wilde.
They're buried in Paris?
They're buried in Paris, and you could be buried next to them.
Okay.
Let's see. Paris is offering people the
auction?
chance to be buried next to some of the most famous dead people of Paris. Council chiefs launched the unusual scheme. This article calls it a scheme. That raises an eyebrow. Due to so many people expressing interest in the city's famous cemeteries. A lot of people are like, hey, I want to be buried in that cemetery. I want to be buried in that cemetery. Well, there's not a lot of room. Not a lot of room for growth in Paris. They're kind of maxed out in that capacity. They declared the macabre lottery to a compromise between respecting the dead while also giving locals the chance to nab a burial spot in some of the world's most famous cemeteries. Let's see.
What are you going to pay?
30 crumbling gravestones from way back in the 19th century are up for grabs. Let's see. 3,500 pounds each. I don't have the conversion in front of me. I apologize. I didn't do it on the front end. However, there's a small catch that might deter some people. The lucky winners have to fork out to restore the monuments and then buy the burial plot.
Okay.
Basically, you're paying to become neighbors with the dead.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's convert 3,500 pounds to dollars.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's $4,500.
That doesn't
roughly
seem like a significant price to pay.
And then, you got to buy the plot, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't wish to be buried.
Yeah,
next to next to famous people, but
I
do wish to be buried next to dead people, other dead.
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Do I want a lot of people walking by my grave to see someone else's grave?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Like you
Yeah.
want to get eyes out there.
Yeah.
You know, you want the word out.
I know every time I go to a cemetery, I am often curious about the people
How it got where it is.
surrounding the person that I've come to visit.
Yeah,
Like,
me
oh,
too. Dude,
how'd that person get there?
Every time I drive by a graveyard, I'm like, whoa. when did that happen? How long did they like? What was it like? You know, you're transported back in time.
There's
lots
various
of wonder
eras of gravestone. You can tell, like, oh, that is a very old gravestone.
Get the scrubber out on that one.
Yeah, can barely read it.
Yeah. Travis asked if we're regulars at the cemetery. Now I drive by, just whenever I drive by one. Like there's one over here on
poll question.
There's one on 50th in Leavenworth.
Yeah.
And I always drive by that one, and I'm like, look at all those dead people. There you go.
I go a couple times a year. I don't know. Does that make me a regular?
You go to a cemetery a couple times a year? Oh, to pay
respects.
Pay respects.
Yeah. Not just for
that kind of makes you a regular. I don't go to the cemetery to do that.
Okay.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should have more respect.
Probably.
Sad. Good on you, Josh.
Thank you.
We'll be back. The noon hour is coming up. It's time for I Have an Opinion. Many have opinions. Submit them to us, and we will talk about them when we return on 1620 The Zone.
This is the I Have an Opinion song. Haven't done an intro yet. Need to get on that.
Yeah, it's time for I Have an Opinion here on this opening honk of a day, Josh. Opening honk.
Honk, honk.
Honk, honk. Can't wait to hear what you guys have opinions about. We'll be monitoring all of the ways to get in touch with the show. I do want to tell people that I have received correspondence with Greg in Myrtle Beach, given that his name was mentioned in the last segment about a potential pantsless driver in Myrtle Beach. Right?
Yes, yes.
That was that story.
Mm-hmm.
Greg in Myrtle Beach writes this. It wasn't me driving naked, Hap. Remember, middle school rule only allows us to talk about trust, culture, engagement, and now alignment. Winning, good coaching, and titles are all irrelevant. There was a variety of different words were capitalized in that text, as you can imagine.
Sure. Any famous books about truck driving that Matt Rule could quote?
Not that I know of. He could watch, our favorite movie. What's that called?
Over the Top.
Over the Top. That's right. All right, I got texts. What do we got?
Motor oil.
What do we got on Twitter / I got a couple emails that we get to as well.
We begin on the YouTube stream with Headley Lamar, GBR. I have an opinion. Morning people are just caffeinated liars.
Well, you think that the only reason that people are morning people is because they've artificially enhanced their state of mind? That's an interesting theory, I guess. I think that there are some people that are just wired to wake up. Like
there are.
You've just been doing it all your life, and now you might need that coffee. But there's some people who will tell you, and they'll swear to you, I'm a morning person. I love being awake in the mornings, and I don't really drink coffee. I just live. I just live life. And I'm like, I respect that. I try to be as I don't know where I stand on the whole morning person thing. Like, I don't think I'm a morning person, but I do like force myself to be. I try to force myself to be like in a good mood every day. I feel like that's important. I don't know what the process is. Maybe sometimes it's turn on a good song, maybe have an extra cup of coffee, whatever it might be. But I would much rather just sleep until 9. That'd be sick.
That would hit.
That would be awesome. So I don't know really where I don't know what that makes me. What else we got?
We go to the Twitter, JTech Constructions on Twitter feed.
Thank you.
Declan has an opinion.
Hi. Declan.
I have an opinion. The older I get, currently 38, the more I order fish and chips.
That sounds like a fact.
Sounds like you've done the research.
Have a take, Declan. Say fish and chips are good the older you get. There we go. Fish and chips are better the older you get. You know, first of all, I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't felt that urge. I'm 33. Every once in a while, I see it on a menu, and I'm like, number one, who's getting that, and why is it still on the menu? And number two, do I want that? Like, it looks kind of good. I'll tell you what, though, I never really want a fish sandwich unless it's like a fish burger, like a fillet of fish. Like, I never want that.
Okay.
But I do like eating fish as a meal, and I like a po' boy. It's not like not fish, whatever. But I could see that. I could see that as a possibility as I potentially age into fish and chips. Do you age into fish and chips?
Ooh.
Do you age into ordering fish and chips?
Okay.
I'll put that up.
Okay, you put that up.
You work on some other stuff.
Wow, I'm really intrigued by that because there's a couple spots where you're like, yeah, this is an okay place to order fish and chips.
Yeah.
You know where to not order.
It's definitely place dependent. That's for sure.
And I'll go about 3 weeks of Lent where you're just inundated with fish sandwich ads, fish sandwich, get our fish sandwich. And then I'll finally go, you know what? I'll get a fish sandwich. And then I have one and I'm like, okay, it was fine. Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
You got it, Josh.
Where we find Chris's email. I have an opinion. I miss the old aesthetic of flash photography during big games at night.
Whoa.
Great take.
Yeah, so the Timberwolves, why did I turn New Yorker there for a second? Sorry. The Timberwolves of the National Basketball Association, they have they went through a big study in the offseason, and they changed a lot of their lighting in their building, and they went to the stage lighting, and it creates epic photos. Now, the thing that we miss and that we'll never get back is the stage lighting plus cigarette smoke. Now there are some places that do that, and they artificially, like they have smoke machines and they pump in smoke. Like PBA used to do it. They used to do it to Devaney, like where they'll at the start there will just be smoke that comes out of the ceiling, and it creates this like haze, and it makes for excellent photographs. But so I agree with this opinion. Yeah, I sort of missed that too.
We have a sandwich take in the chat from Star Wars Fiend.
Okay.
I have an opinion. The Firehouse Thanksgiving sub is the sandwich you never knew you needed in your life until you try it.
Well, I guess I don't know that for sure, but it feels like I really don't need it.
Let's see.
You haven't seen this? I mean, a lot of sandwich shops are trying to do this.
Sure.
You've seen the commercials for it, certainly.
I've seen commercials for a meat place that has a Thanksgiving sub right now. Carved slices of tender turkey breast, savory Thanksgiving stuffing, sweet and tart cranberry sauce, and mayo served hot on a toasted sub roll.
I don't think so. I'll just wait till Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that feels like the play.
You know, when I was a kid, I would thought it was really innovative when I would take a lot of the Thanksgiving plate, and then I would just open up the roll and stuff it on the roll and make a Thanksgiving sandwich out of it. That is worse. That's not as good as just eating the Thanksgiving and then eating the roll separately. Now, day after Thanksgiving, you put the turkey on a sandwich, that's a different deal. I don't want the Thanksgiving sandwich. I'm sorry. But texture or the emailer is saying you never know until you try, and to that point, I do agree with that.
Can we get it on Frank Caliendo's Mount Rushmore
we
sandwiches?
Will ask. We will ask.
Frank joins us at 1. Back to the emails. Brandon.
Yeah.
Connor. Josh. I have an opinion. Football would be a better sport if we regularly changed out quarterbacks. We do that with other players. Why not the quarterback? I've heard the old saying from John Madden, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. But why is that? Why isn't it a thing to have 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks?
I think the genesis of it starts as it's not as physically demanding of a position. It's more of you're not running around all the time. It's a more mentally demanding position, and it's harder to find more than one guy who meets the mental demands of the position.
That's it. I mean, look at the NFL. There's how many teams? 32?
Something like that.
There's 12 people that can play the position of quarterback competently?
Yeah. It's not because they're not talented. It's because they can't figure it out in their brains. So I guess that is the reason why. Okay, so let's get through a bunch more here.
Bang them out.
Here's Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Oh, Peter LaFleur.
Hi, Peter.
Smoking cheese isn't worth the pellets.
Oh, okay. We were watching a food show, and they went to a pit master, and he had
just cheese. Are you just smoking the cheese?
Yeah, he had just a block of cheese in there.
I don't think so either. It can't be. I've never tried, but I would like to try. I don't want to put in the effort to smoke the cheese.
Now, this is a pit where he had racks and racks of meat, and he's just like, there's a little space here for cheese. So it's not like he was doing just cheese,
Okay. Let's go to the text line. Here's Michael.
Hi, Michael.
I have opinions. Interesting. Christmas music. Well, this is an interesting topic. Christmas music should not start 24/7 on radio stations when the clock hits 12:01 after Halloween.
Great take.
Also, And take this as a PSA. If you're on the street and the posted speed limit is 45 and you're afraid of going past 35, then get off the darn street. You're the reason people whiz in and out of lanes to get around your old self. Yeah, that's both of those I agree with. Just go the speed limit. You're going to be okay, I promise. The speed limit is actually, it's lower than it should be on every street in America because it bakes in the fact that everyone's an idiot, right? So like really on every 45 mile an hour street, it should be 55 at least.
Oh, if only.
Except for neighborhoods. 25 in a neighborhood that's too fast almost.
Yes. Great take.
Seriously, how is neighborhood speeds not 15?
Why does it need to be 25?
Well, seriously, I mean, 25 is way too fast.
It's way too fast.
In the neighborhoods with the children? No, that's too fast.
Trust me, if I hit something in a neighborhood going 24,
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Big time. Here's Justin. Hi, guys. I have an opinion. The word undoubtedly is completely unnecessary. When a sportscaster says this will undoubtedly be the end of the first quarter, well, I don't. Okay, just save the 4 syllables and say this will be the end of the first quarter and stop wasting my time. Okay, like I when there's like 15 on the play clock and it's on the game clock and it's clear they're not going to run another play the first quarter, the announcer goes, and this will undoubtedly be the end of the first quarter. It's a descriptive word. It paints the picture a little bit more. Like, I'm sure of it. It will be the end of the first quarter. They're not going to get another playoff. I'm okay with descriptive words.
Yeah, it's a broadcast. You have to fill the time.
Yeah, but like that would come with the implication that it's a meaningless word, that it's a useless word, and I don't think that it's a useless word. I think it adds something to the sentence.
It's not a place to be succinct. You don't have to be succinct.
Yeah, no, you want to be as descriptive as you possibly can. Yeah, but I think that word, I mean, there's certain words that don't make sense in a lot of places, but like that situation, I don't know, it paints the picture just a little bit more clear.
Dave, with a response to that in the YouTube chat,
I
have an opinion. If you are signing up for a fixed period of time, such as a game, an announcer cannot waste your time. You've made the choice to spend your time there.
That's true. You're going to be there no matter what. Also true. Here's Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. I have an opinion. If you are 70 years old or 90 pounds over your high school weight, you need to get a long handle bath brush to hit all those places you can't reach.
I didn't know where we were going.
I didn't either. What do you think about that? I'm not 70 or 90 pounds over my high school weight, so I do not have a long handle bath brush.
I'm probably 90 pounds over my high school weight.
Do you have a long handle bath brush?
I don't.
I'm a generally inflexible person, so I can't reach my back. And so maybe I could use a long handle bath brush.
I would not buy one, but if I received one as a gift,
it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a nice little Secret Santa for Josh this year. Also, Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I heard that the best quarterback on the team is Marcos Davila. Coach Rule just loves Dylan so much, he does not want anyone to take his quarterback job. The guy who told me this believes in flat earth. We live in a matrix universe, and lizard people live underground. Another great text from Pedro.
Where are my Alex Jones drops?
Here is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
I have an opinion. Fried chicken is the stupidest name for fried chicken.
What?
I mean, it's very simple. What do you want to call it? Like Cluckers? Yeah, what after the work? I got stopped at Popeyes to get some Cluckers. No, that's stupid. Fried chicken. I can't imagine a world in which we didn't say fried chicken.
Yeah.
It's chicken.
I mean, I guess we don't do that with a lot of other things. Like, hey, do you want a grilled steak? Hey, do you want a baked cookie? Hey, do you want a...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's being overly descriptive.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to... I mean, one of the questions when you order a chicken sandwich, you want to ask the follow-up of like, how is the chicken cooked? Yeah, is it grilled? Is it fried? What's on it? What are we doing? And so I think it's important to have that word in there, but it is a little boring.
Hot Danger said baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes.
Okay.
Important because there are many kinds of potatoes.
There are many kinds of ways to prepare a chicken. There are many kinds of ways to prepare a potato. So those are the two that we elect to describe.
Seth writes in, poll question, could you use a long-handled bath brush?
All right.
Tom in Cincinnati.
Hi, Tom.
I have an opinion. Unsportsmanlike Conduct needs to get rid of that god-awful intro to their show.
Whoa.
And Josh Odson needs to amp up their game with something like the I Have an Opinion intro. Also, everyone chill. The Huskers are improving. Slowly, but improving.
Now, Tom, I'll tell you this.
They have a great theme song.
I appreciate the compliment. The USC song is, see, I'm just inserting H's into words now that we're talking to Thom. USC theme song, a banger. Also, why would you create more work for me?
It could get done eventually. In theory.
After Robin's
It's a great song.
intro.
It's a great song. Nate, New Jersey. I have an opinion. Visiting the cemetery 2 times in 1 year does, in fact, make you a regular.
Okay.
I actually agree with that. Here's Brian. I have an opinion. It is okay to put your holiday lighting up while the weather is still warm. However, you should be publicly shamed if you already have them on, like right now.
Oh, you can have them up, but not on. Okay.
Gotcha. Understood. Cody, I have an opinion. Driving a semi for 14 hours with no pants sounds terrible. Yeah, actually, you're right. I mean, but you got like a blanket. You're wearing your underwear. You're not naked. Just no pants.
What's the seat? What's the seat made out of? Cloth or leather?
Let's just say cloth.
Okay. That's the better of the two in this situation.
It is.
Yes. Yeah.
It is. But you can put a blanket down or something.
Sure.
Whatever. Let's see. I have an opinion. This is just from the 308.
At 308.
The amount of huddles and high fives during a college basketball game is outrageously obnoxious and needs to be cut in half immediately, at least. Too many high fives and huddles.
Has this person watched volleyball?
The high five after every point.
Every point.
Every point. Every point. I don't watch a college basketball game and think, wow, they're high fiving too much.
I've never thought that. I've thought that during volleyball. I've thought that during football, not basketball.
They are huddling for a long time in basketball. Maybe that's part of the problem. We'll take that into account. Let's see. Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
I have an opinion. Wow, this is inappropriate from Jeff, but I'll still read it because it is his opinion. I have an opinion. Having a washed-up impressionist talk Creighton basketball and sandwiches is a quick way to drive away audiences.
Whoa.
How dare you, Jeff? That is my friend and Josh's friend.
Our close personal friend.
That is...
We don't come to where you work and make fun of your friends.
A horrible opinion. A horrible opinion. Here's Jed.
There's no one washed up in the Husker sphere talking about Husker football.
Definitely not.
That's for sure.
Jed says, I have an opinion. Teslas are no longer cool. There are too many. Might as well buy a Ford Focus and save the money at this point. At one point, Teslas were cool, and now they're probably not anymore.
I don't know if that's because they're so plentiful.
There are a lot of them.
There's
It's not cool when you see a Tesla anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, it's just a car.
There's other people doing it now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're less out there in the public space and tend to keep their opinions to themselves.
Here's Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I have an opinion. We need to start calling Josh Jamaican Josh.
That's what Michael called me.
What's that mean?
He calls me Jamaican Josh because nobody, in his words, nobody has more jobs than a Jamaican. And I have many jobs here at 1620 The Zone.
But according to Brian, it will help differentiate you from the other Josh.
Okay, I thought that's why we called me producer Josh, but
Jamaican Josh.
I'm in radio. I love alliteration.
The follow-up Oh, we have a follow-up on the high-fiving in basketball.
Okay.
And it just says, it's okay in volleyball. You can do it. You can do it in volleyball. Chris says, poll question, are there too many high fives in basketball? I don't know that to be the case. I don't know that to
I've
be
never
the case.
thought about it. I'm not saying this person is right or wrong. I've just never thought about it.
I've received a personal text from an unnamed
source
person who will remain unnamed.
Sources.
It's just, it's not a source. It's just a person. It says, you should read this on air. And I will say, okay.
Great start.
College basketball opening week is better than 75% of college football. And that's not even including Feast Week, which is the best week ever. Josh, what do you think about that opinion? What do you think about it, Josh?
I cannot get on board with this. I understand the point of
the best week ever.
You know, they're both blowouts.
I do love college basketball, but I don't think I mean, there's a real discussion we had, like, what's the best week of the year? And I don't think it's Feast Week, although that week does have good football offerings, obviously.
See, I didn't really think much of Feast Week until
we made fun of it all the time.
Until we made fun of it for reasons here. And
yeah.
Now I do smile whenever Feast Week comes up.
It's Feast Week.
But I mean, are you
college basketball is,
are you really hyped for UConn New Haven? Did you sit down in front of your TV and watch Michigan beat Oakland 121-78?
I actually did, because I didn't have any other options.
Thanks,
screw you, YouTube
Disney.
TV.
I mean, Iowa State and Farley Dickinson.
I like to see what else is going on. I don't know if the games are good.
I did,
but the games aren't good in college football either.
That's right.
There is a higher opportunity for better games in college basketball than there is in college football, because there are so many more games. And anybody can beat anybody. You get a Boise State losing to Hawaii Pacific or whatever the hell that was.
School I didn't know existed. I genuinely didn't know there was more than one school in Hawaii at any level.
This text was a text from a basketball honk. That is true. And it wasn't Bigelow. It was not Bigelow.
I mean, you like what you like.
Okay.
I mean,
couching it, Josh.
Yeah.
Cody writes, I have an opinion. We should have voted for Josh sooner, as there is no way he would ever have destroyed our ability to get anywhere downtown. Going to CHI will be a disaster. Oh yes, they've already tweeted out their maps for tonight, asking people to take extra precaution and extra time traveling to the Chai.
Now, I understand.
It's very bad.
You're doing a major project down there. I get that. Do I agree with the project? No. But what the hell was up with the roads this summer? It was worse than years past, yes?
It was. It was.
Get your act together.
Albino Tornado.
Hi, Albino Tornado.
I have an opinion. All passes that do not cross the line of scrimmage should be considered fumbles. This will fix intentional grounding and empty hand debates. Yeah, but then you'd have that thing where they start running with the ball and it's actually live. You know that they throw it and it's clearly a forward pass, but it just doesn't reach the line of scrimmage, or it just doesn't reach the receiver. And the defender's like, oh, I'm going to grab this and start running. Like, you know it's a dead ball.
I'm familiar.
Then all those balls would be live. That would suck. They don't deserve to be rewarded defensively for that. You caused an incomplete pass. That should be your reward enough. You don't need the ball. Turnovers would be astronomical.
As a person who
would be astronomical.
Games, I don't like this.
This would be a horrible idea. This would be a horrible idea. Charles says, I have an opinion. I like road construction. What the hell?
Oh, get out of here with your contrarian nature.
That is just absurd. We should have just.
You like road construction?
We should have just disregarded that text or that comment completely.
Oh, no. No, you got to read the controversial ones. You know, I have an opinion from Colin Cowherd. I'm not going to read that one on the air, but.
Oh, yeah. He felt the need to weigh in on the New York City mayoral election this morning.
He did.
Smart.
He's not on the air today, which is.
Probably smart also. Anything else on the YouTube that I missed somewhere along the way? People outing themselves in the
Platt Cat
Yep.
Sticking up for our boy, Matty McMaster.
Yeah.
I have an opinion. I don't mind if Matt says hike on Big Red Overreaction and would actually encourage it as a bit.
He should start saying hike just to see, like at an astronomical rate, just to see if that guy will come back in and yell at him again.
You're trying to hike him off sides, and
yeah, I don't care either. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all.
Clearly, I've used the context clues to figure out what he's talking about.
I will say this: I do like when Matt gets pressed on stuff because he always tries to punch out, you know. So I do like when he's squirming a little bit.
He will not just go, oh okay.
Whatever. Yeah. He will never be like, okay, well, I guess, you know. Sometimes he'll be like super defeated and then it gets kind of sad and he'll be like, fine, I guess I'm a big idiot.
Yeah,
then.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like when that happens.
No.
So, but I do like when he gets pressed on some things every now and then. I like doing that to him. I like making him squirm.
I like it. It's fun.
That's because I like Matt. I like Matt.
I like Matt a lot.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Good luck hopping in the DMs of somebody who's going to win themselves some Mavs tickets after the show today. We'll be back. We're going to squeeze in Big Ten Power Rankings with tears on 1620 The Zone. Thank you for sharing your opinions with us today on the Connor Happer Show. We love to hear them. All right, Big Ten Power Rankings with Tears. It's becoming less about the rankings these days. It's more of like it's turning into a Big Ten look ahead. What's on the Big Ten menu for this weekend?
The segment serves many purposes throughout the course of the season.
We are a very informational show, Josh. We love disseminating information to you all. And I can imagine that many of you don't know who your favorite Big Ten teams are playing this weekend. Well, you know who your favorite Big Ten team is playing, but not who your other favorite Big Ten teams are playing. Everyone has a second favorite Big Ten team, right? I don't think that's probably the case. So for the rankings, here's a short synopsis on what happened. The top three stayed the same: Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. I moved USC into that top spot of the non-definite playoff teams right now, with a slight edge over Michigan just because they beat them. And then Washington and Iowa finish off that tier. Those are your ranked college football playoff poll teams, and those are your contenders for the fourth spot for the Big Ten in the playoff. Of course, we had a caller, I think it was yesterday, say, I'm not sure if Oregon's going to make it. Of course, if Oregon doesn't make it, then it might only be 3 in the Big Ten. But as of right now, this is what we have. Nebraska just drops a spot down to 9th. So they're in the tier with Illinois, Minnesota, Northwestern, and UCLA. UCLA is last in that. Illinois is first. Nebraska is second. Then Minnesota and Northwestern. I know Nebraska's in front of Minnesota, even though what happened on the field, Connor? This is the power ranking, damn it. Shut up. Maryland, Penn State, after kind of competing with Ohio State for a little while, Rutgers, Purdue, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. Wisconsin has now been in dead last of Big Ten for an entire month. Congratulations to Wisconsin.
Sorry, Big Cat.
Sorry, Big Cat, Josh says. Sorry, Big Cat.
Just extend.
Is there any other people you'd like to say sorry to? Frank Kaminsky, Melvin Gordon.
I'm good.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Big Cat. So here's our menu for this week. The big TV games are as such. This is a bit of an odd week television-wise, the Big Ten. So big noon is going to be Indiana at Penn State. That will go off as normal. Indiana at Penn State, 11 a.m. Fox on Saturday. We are back on Friday nights this week. Northwestern goes to USC on Friday at 8 on Big Fox.
Okay. That could be good.
That could be good. I don't think it'll be very good, but it could be good. USC will probably win by 14 plus.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. But it could be good if Northwestern does their Northwestern thing, I guess.
Give me a half of football on a Friday night. I'm good.
All right. Yeah. It's two programs that I'm interested in watching play each other. It's better than I could normally say on a Friday night. Game of the week of the Big Ten is Oregon at Iowa. 2:30 on CBS on Saturday. It's big time, Josh.
That's what they call it.
Oregon at Iowa.
Intriguing.
It really is. Iowa's got some juice behind them right now.
They can score points now. They've never been able to do that before.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. They kind of do it in their way, right?
Hey, Caden Weegan, could you run this back for us? Thanks.
They score on special teams. They score on defense, and they do have a little bit of more. They got some dynamic. What's the word for this? Dynamic ability, dynamism.
Ooh.
How about that? They got some dynamism to them. Making up words on the show. You got a little bit of that with Gronowski in the run game, but that is going to be fun. I will watch that game on Saturday at 2:30 because I can. It's on CBS. If there's one bright shining light in all this whole YouTube TV garbage, it's that we all likely root for a team that is not in the SEC. If you're an SEC fan right now and you have YouTube TV,
shambles.
I don't even know what you do. What do? You actually have to change cable providers.
Yeah, you have to fold and get one of the
you
others.
have to go to Hulu Live or Tubi or whatever the hell you have to do. There is no NBC.
They all have stupid names.
There is no NBC Saturday night this week in the Big Ten because we are making way for Notre Dame and Navy this week. Don't we love tradition, folks?
Helmet matchup, both teams, a lot to fight for.
I mean, I suppose it is a good game. Notre Dame's going to win by
I think
a
so.
significant margin, but that is why we are stepping out of Big Ten Saturday night this week, and we're going to Notre Dame and Navy. Elsewhere, here's the rest of the menu. Ohio State checking boxes. They have a BTN game this week at Purdue, and that game will kick off at, I triple-checked this, noon Central. Noon Central. 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central for Ohio State and Purdue. I don't know what precipitated this garbage of moving the kickoff times by an hour. I genuinely don't know why they're doing this. But that game will start at noon Central on the BTN. And then Maryland and Rutgers will play each other. Maryland at Rutgers. That game will start at 1:30 Central on the FS1. 2:30 Eastern. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened this week on those games. Washington goes to Wisconsin, 3:30 on the BTN. Once again, 3:30. We're an hour off on everything. I can't figure this out. What's going on in the BTN is I don't have any idea. And then of course Nebraska, UCLA, 8 o'clock on Fox. 4 teams have buys this week in the league: Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, and Michigan State. And that is your slate and your menu coming up for this week.
I've read 2 blog posts.
Yeah. What did they tell you what's happening?
Nope. Just that it's a weird kickoff time, but I knew that. That's why I was looking for answers. Thanks, Internet.
Nobody tells you why.
Correct.
Got it. Perfect. Also, Scott Docterman, our dear friend, yesterday, he was he had some comments, or because he keeps track of all he's the Big Ten. He's basically taking the Big Ten TV guy role at this point. He keeps track of how many times everyone is on, whatever network, because BTN has a quota on every team in the league has to be on BTN twice. And so he shared this yesterday. If I could find this tweet right now. But basically something along the lines of here are the teams that need to still check off boxes to get on BTN more often. And now I can't find his tweets from yesterday, so I apologize. But there is a couple outstanding television decisions left to make in the final 4 weeks of the regular season. And some of them will be decided by the fact that some teams haven't been on BTN enough yet. So keep that in mind as well. That's Big Ten Power Rankings with tears, ladies and gentlemen.
3 Big Ten teams still need another BTN game before the end of the season.
Oh, you found it?
USC, Penn State, and Iowa.
Okay. So I don't know what that means for Nebraska's game against Penn State. Nebraska's already filled their quota. I don't know what Penn State has over the next 2 weeks. Because I've been curious about the Nebraska-Penn State time.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we won't find that out until at the very least Monday, and then potentially even the Sunday after that. All right. We will return. Talk a little Creighton basketball to start the season, and that'll transition nicely into our conversation with Frank Caliendo coming up at 1 o'clock. So we'll do that when we return, as it is opening honk tonight at the Chai. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. But first, a word from our friends from Underdog. Speaking of basketball, yes, it is indeed back. All of it. All the good parts, and yes, the bad parts of basketball as well. Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. You can make picks and win money right now in Nebraska. Very easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. You get those picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So take a look at whichever game you like, whether it's in pro basketball, college basketball. Take those individual player numbers and pick higher or lower. And yes, you can combo those together, of course, as well for a chance at a bigger payout. Download the app today. Use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog. Make picks. Win money. Must be 19 plus. A present Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing. Get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right. Welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here at 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Still have Blur tailgate passes on the line, of course, for the Iowa game on Black Friday. So get those. Get your whatever in, you know.
Get your name in the running.
Get your name in the running. That's right. That's what I was trying to say, Josh. 1620thezone.com. Do it right now.
Can't win it if you're not in it.
Exactly. Let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here is Brian. Oh, Brian is the hike him off sides guy. This is the guy that got in an argument with Matt about the word hike on the postgame show. So, Brian, for the record, I didn't hear this conversation at all, but I'm curious to hear your side of it.
Okay. So, of course, I call in and I'm pissed, just like everyone else. We lost.
A fair reaction.
I'm ready to, to let it all out on air. And I was already triggered. And for whatever reason, so I'm waiting online. And you know how the show plays in your ear or whatever. I hear him say that and immediately went away from my take. And me being triggered, he just pulled it. And I don't care what he would have said or what. I was going to go off, and I took out all my frustration on him. And I really like their show. I listen to it in the morning. I listen to all you guys all day anyway, but I refer to it now as my Jake Sorensen moment. Is what I do.
Yeah. Some people, you get emotional after the games and maybe do a couple tweets and, or maybe you call into the show and you yell at the host for saying hike. It's okay. Yeah. I get it. It
makes
totally
perfect sense, actually.
And I want to say I'm sorry. I knew I knew exactly what I meant, but it was a reason for me to be, for lack of a better word, a word I can't say on the air now.
Thank you.
But yeah, so no. Anyway, yeah, I like him. I listened to his show, and I was triggered. He pulled it, and I'm glad. When I went to call right now, I was wondering if my number got blocked. I was like, God, am I going to be able to get, did they block me for being an ass? Or
no, we get it.
Our phone doesn't have that technology,
It definitely doesn't. Also, we understand that it tends to get a little bit emotional after the games, and the people that we hear from after the games might not be, even if it is the same actual person, it might be a completely different person that calls like during the week, like right now. We're getting that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, I do want to apologize to Matt, and all good. And hopefully they come back and win win this weekend. Otherwise, get ready for this number to pop up afterward.
Awesome.
And you may not want to answer.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Hike him off sides. There's got to be a bit in there somewhere. I got to go back and listen to this call.
I think
so. We had to dump Brian. He said a bad word.
Yeah, I believe he said the S word.
Okay.
And then that made I was defending Matt. We were getting into it, and that gave us like the final okay, yeah, we definitely win because you swore.
Yeah,
you don't get to talk anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now
sure.
I always
first 30 minutes of that show was wild.
I need to remind myself of this sometimes. Like I do possess the ability to just rack people. Like I could absolutely just get them off.
Mm-hmm.
Bang, you're done.
Yeah.
If I don't want to hear what you have to say, I could just kill it. But I have a very long leash of like a temper, except for when it comes to driving on Maple Street. I have a very short leash of temper. I have a very long leash of like people could say whatever they want, except for when the bad words come around, then you get dumped off, immediately. But I don't really care what people say. I will hear you out the most bat bleep crazy theories. Like I'll hear people out. I like Greg and Myrtle Beach talk for 7 straight minutes.
People do not forget.
I have a very long leash as it pertains to
Random
so
Mike.
Maybe Brian found the right show. Maybe you need an outlet. You just need to talk it out for a couple minutes. I'm not Michael. I might not give you all the answers, but I will listen.
People love talking to Michael.
People have found me to be a good listener, which is a perfect quality for a talk show host.
Not a lot of talk show hosts out there saying, I got twice as many ears as a mouth.
Josh,
I can. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you would you consider yourself a confidant? Have you ever been a confidant? Has anybody ever confided?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I think people confide in us.
Well, we're their friends on the radio. We hang out with them for 4 hours
We're
a day.
their friends on the radio. We're their friends in real life. Some people they just say stuff to us, and we're just like, yeah.
You get to a certain spot, and with spending time with someone, whether it be real or perceived time with another person, you want to tell them things. Like, well, I mean, gosh,
I think we're those people.
I got something I need to say.
I think
I hang out with Connor and Josh 4 hours a day.
Might as well say it to them. They're not gonna, they're not. And hopefully, if you've learned anything about this show, like depending on what it is, like we're probably not going to judge you.
Yeah, we're probably not going to shut you down like some other shows.
Yeah. So that's us. Black Cat writes in.
Hi, Black Cat.
Says, I needed an outlet, so I lost it on McMaster is the perfect way to bring it full circle with Brian. It really was. Hey, sorry, flew off the handle there a little bit. I had to take. I was going to say one thing. It was going to be good, but then he said that hike thing, and it just triggered me. I've been there. I get it.
I hadn't really thought about it from Brian's perspective. It makes a lot of sense.
I totally understand. All right, Frank Caliendo is coming up in a minute.
The Frank Caliendo?
Yes, Frank Caliendo. He is a friend of us, friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to confide in us, then we will be happy to. Unfortunately, he has to do it like publicly, like over the air. I suppose he could text us.
He can and
we should probably start a group text.
Oh, the three of us?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes he's talking to me, sometimes he's talking to you.
I will admit, you sent me a text that said, "Hey, Frank texted me," and I felt a little left out.
Yeah, we should start a group text.
Okay.
Maybe we could ask him that when he comes on the show in a couple minutes. But we will be talking Creighton basketball with him because he loves Creighton basketball, which is a great honor. I think it should be an honor for the city of Omaha and for Creighton as a program. He did the unboxing, the Gruden unboxing yesterday. He said that Mac was like Shrek, which I thought was probably the best part of that entire thing. He said he's dropped that line before. It's a good one. But let's talk about Creighton tonight and their opening flight. I know. Yeah.
Honk, honk.
So will there be answers to any of our questions about anything? Probably not
tonight.
Right? How you deal with this depth thing is going to be, it's going to be fascinating.
It's been so long since Max had this quote unquote problem.
They just don't. Yeah. And there's no right answers. They haven't figured it out yet. Clearly, I don't think anybody knows what they're really going to be like and who their guys they're going to lean on. And those are going to be some things where I'm going to be looking for clues on, like who are your dudes? We assume it's Josh Dix. We assume he's the guy kind of with the ball in his hand to go create and get a bucket. Like, want to see some of that. So that's a question. Freeman is still a ways off, I think, from just being completely healthy. I don't even know if he's going to play tonight. And
why would he? Other than it's a game that counts.
Well, I mean, you want to continue to get in game shape, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and you could do that in a relatively low stress situation. So we'll see. But let's go ahead and give some expectations. They're ranked in the preseason top 25. They're 23rd. Depending on what prognosticators you like to look at, they're almost certainly an NCAA tournament team for just about everybody, in their preseason brackets or whatever. They're pretty much a unanimous third place finisher in the Big East. Depending on where you look. But, every once in a while you hear this like, hey, if everything works out, if they get all this stuff right, they are really they're about as talented top to bottom as they've ever been, probably.
If everything pops.
Yeah. Then it could go. I'm not there yet. What I'll say is this, like, I have no doubt that they'll be able to get whatever it is they're capable of getting out of this team. I just don't know what they're capable of because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what
that's a good way to put it.
I don't know what the math looks like. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how good they're going to be on defense. I don't know how, at what rate they'll figure out the right thing for them. And keep in mind that, I thought Mac made a great point after the game, after the exhibition last Saturday. He was like, a lot of times you've seen it before. Guys transfer here and they become the best version of themselves in the second year.
That's true.
What would we have done to get a second year of Jemiah Neal? God, I would have loved to see it because he was awesome at the end of last year.
I like when he made that dunk.
Me too, Josh. Me too. That was great times. He had a bone to pick with the Hurley family, and he dunked at the end of that game at Madison Square Garden. That was great. I would have loved to see Jemiah Neal in year two. But the fact of the matter is with this team, like, they're going to need some year one transfer guys to be really good. They're going to need Dix to be good. They're going to need Freeman to be good. They're going to need, Harper to be good. And or some combination of all those guys, because there's just so many new guys. And the talent that you have coming back is good, sets the baseline for your program and your culture and all that stuff, but we're talking about Jackson McAndrew, who undefined ceiling. I don't know what it's going to look like. And then Ty Davis and Jason Green, who what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like there's a whole lot of variance there. Your variance is made up in all these new guys. Dix, Schwartz, Graves, obviously I haven't mentioned him yet. Freeman, Harper, all those. I'm probably missing several guys, but like that's where your variance comes from, and that's the scary part. You just don't. It hasn't been this potentially volatile in a long time.
A lot of people in the YouTube chat not saying this phrase exactly, but I think they would like you, Connor, to untether yourself.
Oh, interesting. What would that mean?
Just kind of let your mind wander about what could be for the Creighton Blue No Space Jays today and this season.
Well, today they might win by like 40.
That'd be a cover.
What's the line?
29.5.
Yeah, they might win by 30. That'd be a cover.
Tight cover, but a cover.
Hopefully it's not UTRGV last year. That
team was
like simultaneously the most fun and least fun I've ever had watching a Creighton game. Ryan Kalkbrenner dropping 50 and then Creighton winning by like 6.
Yeah, I hope it's not that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think they have like defense is going to make up a lot of the equation. I think they have positional athleticism that they probably haven't had before, but I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like positional, I shouldn't say positional athleticism, positional length, positional size. Does that translate into positional athleticism and then positional defense? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I hear Indianapolis is lovely in April.
Oh, is that where the Final Four is this year?
I just hear Indianapolis is lovely in April.
That would be hard for me to see. That'd be hard.
You don't think they strap Mac on their back and
that would be difficult for me to see.
Let's drag our coach right through this glass ceiling.
I don't know.
They could play Nebraska there.
This is
in Indianapolis.
It's they could. This is very exciting. They could also be in the Crown.
Untether yourself.
What's more likely? Final Four or Crown?
Oh, wow. It's probably the Crown, right? Like,
it's probably the Crown. It's probably the Crown.
I could see things going horribly, horribly wrong, from an injury standpoint, which I do not wish.
Yeah. Travis says Josh's love for Indianapolis is well documented. It is.
It is. Love that cocktail sauce.
Also, I think this is Debo.
Cold.
Schwartz may be the best player on the team, according to Padilla. What about a second-year pop for Fedor? This team's ceiling is incredible. Yeah. I mean, Schwartz getting buckets for sure. He's going to be a dude.
Let your mind honk a little.
Haven't seen enough from Fedor to make me think that's coming. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't know.
Untether yourself.
I don't know. I don't even know what untethering myself would mean. I don't even know what that would mean. What would that mean, Josh?
What's a dream scenario for the Creighton Blue No Space
They
Jays?
Score 115 points a game. They are the best offense ever. I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think
it's a dream scenario, Connor.
That's too.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to be right.
It's dreaming too much. So I don't know. Get back to me tomorrow. We'll see.
Okay.
See what this looks like. Frank Caliendo. Oh God, sorry. It's 102. Frank Caliendo is up next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 1 o'clock hour of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend. I don't know at what point you graduate from being friend to good friend. It's probably like after appearance 2 and 3. But Frank Caliendo joins us now. Hello, Frank. How are you?
Doing average at best, I guess. I don't know.
Average at best? That doesn't sound good.
Me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it could be fair to Midland. That could be below average. So I'm just trying to give a different answer.
Hey, do you accidentally just sometimes just slide into John Gruden? Because I even just heard it a little bit just then. It felt like you were headed there.
I wonder if you were going to hear that right there. Sometimes it just sneaks its way in, man. Like you're in the middle of opening a Christmas present, and there it is. I'm going to get this box from Santa Claus, man. I can't wait to see what's inside of this beautiful wrapping paper, man. Yeah, it used to be people would hear Nicholson when I would talk. They hear, a little bit of Jack in there. But now I think it's the cadence. And at one point there was a Jim Rome. Sometimes I just break into a Jim Rome. Incredible, phenomenal. Arugula, I'll raise that. What a great lettuce. So, yeah, I think, when you hear the impression, you hear my voice in the impression, and then there's just certain tones that kind of, hit at the same time, and you start to think of that person.
We love the unboxing video yesterday. Gruden crashed it, spit a bunch of facts, stuff like that. You called Max Shrek, which is always great.
Did I call him Shrek directly? Because he called me, and he goes, Shrek? Like, what did... Because I didn't watch it. And I remember doing it, but I remember when I did I say he was Shrek, or what did I say?
You made reference to their coach. It was something like their coach looks like Shrek or something like that.
Yeah. Then he tweeted, I used to be friends with Frank, bring it on, little guy, or some little man, something like that. So, yeah. I thought the big slip up, it was an accident. I called him Sean McDermott.
You did. Okay, that was an accident because it seemed purposeful almost.
No, it was totally an accident because we had just done a preview for Gruden on Barstool. We had just done a breakdown of Buffalo because Buffalo was playing that night or the next night. So we just did one in the FFCA there. And I was saying Sean McDermott a bunch as we were doing that. And then we went and did the box. We did that. We did Murray State too, because Ryan Miller went over to Murray State. And I know Ryan real well. So I did both those. I actually did Creighton first. And when I started to say McDermott, I said Sean McDermott. And then Gruden corrects me, right? He's like, it's Greg McDermott, man. I was like, oh, jeez. So, but then they left it in. I want them to leave it in because I'm like, God, that's funny.
It was funnier that way. Yeah.
Oh, totally, way better. Yeah, when I said to them over the guys that recorded, I'm like, here's the thing, people aren't going to know if I did that on purpose or not, too. So it's perfect like that.
No,
some people think it's a genius, and some people people know that I'm an idiot.
If you wouldn't have said that, I would have just assumed that it was purposeful because it worked perfectly with the joke. So that was good. Also,
I was sitting in a restaurant yesterday. And Mac's number comes up on my phone, and I was like, I had just sent it to him, and he goes, and all he said is, Shrek. I was like, what did I do?
You get a phone call from the head coach, it puts a little, chill down your spine a little bit. You're
I was like, is this a recruiting call? What's the NIL? Come on, man.
Did you know, by the way, that so you're becoming like the foremost Creighton fan at least in the comedian community, I think. That's
Sandler was just there, wasn't he?
So I was just going to say that, like, Sandler is kind of jumping in on their territory a little bit. They gave him a Creighton jersey, shot some hoops and stuff like that. Like, he's done that each of the last 2 years now. So he's kind of stepping in an interesting place.
Yeah, I got like a Creighton windshield scraper. That's all I got.
Yeah, they gave him a whole jersey. I think it was personalized. The whole thing.
Everything put together. John McHugh over there is putting it all together for him, and I got some toothpicks, some pencil shavings from the actual Sandler pencil they gave him. Yeah, but Sandler goes to all those different places. He just seems to go to colleges, and that's pretty cool. He just goes and shoots around and plays with the managers. I think Mac and those guys, they were at Media Day, weren't they, when Sandler came? So.
Oh yeah, they were out of town. That's right. But the rest of the rest of the team was there, except for the 3 main guys or whatever.
Yeah. So that'd be pretty good. So is tonight at home? I don't even know where it's at because I'm actually in Minneapolis tonight. I'm working tonight, so I don't get to watch the game, most of it live. I'm just in Minneapolis, so I know they're playing South Dakota, and the what's his name isn't tonight, right? The Turkish guy who I really like.
The Turkish guy tonight.
The guy from Turkey.
Well, yeah, they have Conan. Conan.
Yeah. That guy, Conan. I like that guy. I like that guy, man. He's all over the place.
I was gonna say, we need a breakdown. You need your roster breakdown. I wouldn't expect that Karem Conan is the first place you'd go.
Karem Conan, man, the barbarian. Conan, the barbarian, man. This guy's running around. He can't run around this game, but I tell you what, when he's back, you don't know where he is. 6'9" or so. Then you got big Owen Freeman making his way back. I tell you what, he and Josh Dix doing a tremendous job coming over from Iowa. But Jason Green, man, Jason Green's another guy. Where'd he get that rebound? I have no idea. I didn't even think he was on the court right now. And Jason Green comes down with the rebound. But how about Nick Graves, man? This guy is quintessential to the equation. I just like to use Q words, like words with the letter Q inside of them. I'll tell you what, Fedor Zujic. Is that how you say it? Zujic? I don't even know. I'm just going to call him Fedor, man. Ty Davis backing up. Hudson Greer, the 4-star kid. This guy's all over the place as well. I can't wait to see what's going on. How about Andrew McJackson, man? I love that guy. He's got his name backwards.
So the great thing about Gruden is, like you just did, like he really studies up. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. But if it was like,
man, I know absolutely. Isaac Trout, this guy he isn't out in the middle of the river. You're not catching this guy with a fish hook. Isaac Trout, he's shooting from 3, man. Look out, 6'10", gunner.
So then if you got Barkley, he wouldn't know anything about anybody, and he would just,
idea. I just look at the guy with the long arms, Andrew McJackson.
It's funnier to say Andrew McJackson for him, right?
Definitely.
The guy, he does a really nice job trying to figure out if Andrew McJackson and what's the other guy's name? Ty Davis, if they're the same guy, one's just a tinier version. Look at those, the same haircut. That's crazy.
You'd be disappointed that there was. Well, I'm sure you're disappointed, actually, Frank, that Stephen Ashworth isn't here anymore, and you can't, text him about being the boss baby or whatever it is.
No boss baby, yeah. That's
They don't have any boss babies. They're bigger this year. They don't have any boss babies anymore.
I think they're deeper. I think the team is deeper. I think they're going to have a lot of guys that can play and come in. And that's the thing with the Creighton offense, man. I'm doing Gruden again. That's the thing with the Creighton offense, man. You come in, you play your role. You're going to get some points, man. You're going to get a couple chances. And then if you knock it down, Mac's going to pull you out and put somebody else in to do that job. That's what happens, man. Do your job just like over there in all those days, the Patriot way, but this is the Creighton way, man.
Exactly. I loved getting the text. So if people wanted the full, Frank's locked into this thing. So you text me when the exhibition, we're maybe at halftime or something like that of the exhibition game last week, and you're like, "Hey, how we looking?" And then we shared some thoughts, and then we both came to the conclusion that they'll be having a lack of caulk Brenner this year, and this is huge.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's funny too because I had the box opening and I knew it was coming out yesterday, so I called Colleen from the Funny Bone, which I just set up a date for mid to late January. I think it's January 24th, 25th.
Yeah.
I'm at the Omaha Funny Bone. I'm like, put those tickets on sale now. I got something coming out for Omaha. So frankonstage.com for tickets for that. But yeah, so and then I think are you gonna be in Vegas? Because I'm gonna go to Vegas for a couple of the games.
I will be in Vegas. So we'll meet up in Vegas. Let's hang out in Vegas.
Well, let's just talk.
Yeah, I don't mean to do. We don't need to hang out or anything like that. But yeah, I'll see you in that whole thing.
You know what I still want to do? It's just hard because you don't want to make a mockery, but I want to be a manager for one game for Creighton and not tell anybody. I just want to go and bring the chairs in.
Oh,
yeah. When the players, when the starters come and sit down at the timeout for Mac. But it's got to be a game. It would be better in an exhibition game. But I just think that would be very funny to just not say anything. Maybe put on a fake mustache so people have to guess if it's me or not.
Yeah, it's almost like Chad Powers. Like you go undercover, kind of, and then no one knows it's actually you until afterwards.
Yeah, right, but the problem is if they aren't playing well or lose the game, then it's like, well, there was a huge distraction and Caliendo's the problem, and then the whole city and part of the state hates me.
Yeah, that whole manager thing seems kind of bleeped up now, doesn't it? Yeah, that would be the reaction.
Yeah.
Also, okay, so I heard that you went on a show and you did your Mount Rushmore of sandwiches. Josh, could you help out here?
He was on Rich Eisen.
Okay.
And fell into and out of all the impressions we know and love. And
we love
did a Mount Rushmore of sandwiches.
We love sandwich talk on this show. So I have to hear this list. I admittedly have not listened to it.
Was it an actual list, Frank, or was it just what that character would put?
No, I was surprised by it. So I didn't even know it was. Rich didn't tell me he was going to do it. So he goes, I got a surprise for you. And then he said, we're going to pick top 5 sandwiches. And then he started saying impressions that I do. And I had to think of a sandwich for each person. But I was trying to not think of, I wasn't really trying to think of the best sandwiches. First of all, no sandwiches were coming to mind, right? So I was like, what am I going to say here? And then I realized, well, if I pick a hot dog and call it a sandwich, that's going to make some people mad. So that'll get some clicks.
It's funnier. Yeah.
So as Schefter, I was like, according to my sources, at this particular time, it appears a hot dog has been named a sandwich. And Barkley picked grilled cheese, I think. A grilled cheese, just a little bit of bread, some cheese and some butter. It was really, really good. And I can't remember. Berman was going back to the memory.
I think he was a BLT.
You in my head. Yeah, BLT. The back bacon, lettuce, and tomato. But it was, and it just, when people do lists on the internet, it seems to go pretty well. But it was actually like a month and a half ago, and it went out and went fairly viral. There was some huge, big news that happened that day that kind of shut it down, but it still had millions of views and stuff. And then I just reposted it this week because it was National Sandwich Day the other day, and it's got another 1 million views. So welcome to the internet.
Bang. It's that easy. We love any sandwich talk. The Reuben in Omaha, we take great pride in our Reubens. So you just rip that one
Reuben
off.
Big in Omaha? Why is the Reuben big in Omaha?
The Reuben was created in Omaha, and it's not allegedly, it's a fact. The Reuben was created in Omaha.
Oh, really?
The New Yorkers will tell you that the Reuben was a New Yorker.
I think for Stephen A. Smith, I picked corned beef on rye. I think that's what I'm going to go here with corned beef on rye. And people were like, should have chosen a Philly cheesesteak. I'm like, you're right, but I was in.
I couldn't think of sandwiches.
No, somebody tells you think of a bunch of sandwiches and think of them in different characters. Well, that's multiple things to try and think about at the same time, and I struggle with one thing at a time.
Yeah, all of a sudden it becomes very, very difficult. Okay, so you're in Milwaukee tonight. You got, like you said, we'll confirm these dates for you.
I know you don't care about the Midwest other than Omaha, but Minneapolis. So Minneapolis tonight, but Omaha, Funny Bone, January 24th, 25th.
It's the 23rd and 24th, Friday and Saturday. 24th. Frank on stage.
There you go.
Have you been to have you played the new Funny Bone yet?
No. Colleen, who runs the place, and I think she's part owner and stuff like that, but who, I don't know what she is. I think she might own part of Omaha and just not tell anybody. But I was supposedly the first comedian to see it under construction. So last time I was there, I saw it under construction, but I have not been on stage since it's been finished. So looking forward to that.
All right.
I've heard it's great.
I haven't seen it. Josh, do we know anything about how it looks? Maybe we can get a sneak preview.
Looks great. Oh yeah, maybe we can get a tour,
something like that. All right. So is that the next time you're going to be in Omaha then? Late January?
Yeah, they play Xavier, I think, on the Thursday that week, so I'll probably go to the Xavier game.
Perfect.
And then I've got the shows on Friday, Saturday, so I'll be in earlier that week. But I don't know if I'll be in because I'm going to see those games hopefully in coming up at the end of this month in Vegas, and that'll be my couple of Creighton intake games.
People were clamoring for you to be on Jay's Live when you do come back into town. And you did say last year, by the way, you're like, I'll do it. I just didn't look at my texts or, whatever. So we're holding you to that.
I did. I was I forget. Yeah. I don't even know why, because I'm usually just glued to my phone, but then I didn't. You know what? Your text got buried by other texts. Like I got like 5 or 6 other texts after that, and then I never saw it. You probably didn't want to bother me again because you thought I'll just ask once, and if he doesn't reply, he doesn't. He's pretending to ignore me, or he's ignoring me. So no, you just got to keep texting me because I just am kind of an idiot.
Perfect. Look forward to your phone blowing up in a couple weeks when you're in Vegas. I'll just keep texting you over and over and over.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Free dinner on you.
All right, Frank. Thanks. Enjoy the season, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Frank Caliendo. He will be in town the 23rd to 24th of January at the Funny Bone because he's a funny person, Josh.
Absolutely. We just experienced it.
And I'm gonna blow him up
and
blow it up when we get to Vegas.
We always
could you imagine me, Frank, and John Bishop going to dinner somewhere?
No,
that would be great.
I can't.
That'd be so much fun.
We always try and tell Frank, like, hey, we know you're not a jukebox. Like, you don't have to. We just want to talk to you. You don't have to do the thing. But I'm sure
But you mention it once, and it's like I think it's like a cue, and he's just like, all right, fine, I'll do. But I don't think he dislikes doing it. But he did sound like Gruden when he answered that first question. So I was like, are you just Gruden all the time now?
Well, he filmed so many of those videos in a day that
I didn't know he did the Murray State Jacers one.
Yeah,
Murray State, man.
That was during your hiatus.
My hiatus
last weekend.
I was just yelling at the kids about 6, 7.
Yeah, and you missed it.
That's all I was doing.
And he's a little like Austin Butler, where I can't stop being John Gruden.
he kind of is. Kind of is at this point. So I look forward to whatever viral clip a different radio show creates next. So then we could talk about it and then have him on our show to talk about the viral clip on a different radio show.
Would we like to make viral clips of our own? Sure, that'd be great.
No, I hate viral clips.
But if it happens, we'll put it out there. But look, I'm not doing a whole bunch of other work. I'm Jamaican. I got a bunch of other jobs.
You could take a clip from somebody else can aggregate a clip from our show.
Yeah.
And then it has more likelihood of going viral than if we just say, look at this clip. It's very funny.
You guys love us so much. You claim to
make
love
us famous.
Yeah.
It's you, the internet. It's not us.
Right.
We are not in charge of our fame.
No.
We're not in charge of our own destinies. It's you. All right. We'll be back. Still a couple things to discuss. It is opening honk tonight at the Chai. 7 o'clock. We'll talk to you all there. And we'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. Welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Dave writes in on YouTube. He says,
Hi, Dave.
Frank's real voice is strikingly similar to producer Josh. That's why we had that graphic up there during the break. Frank and Josh.
Should I pretend to be Frank or Gruden or?
Should you? Now, how would you impersonate Frank?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to listen to more of him. Find out some ticks or some crutches.
But when he does that, he just goes into a different character.
Yeah.
He's just like an amalgamation of all these different characters. There is no Frank Caliendo. Who is Frank? That's the name of his documentary.
Who is Frank Caliendo?
Who is Frank Caliendo?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the answer is he's just a great guy.
Sure seems like
he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't want to hang out with me in Vegas.
You made that very clear.
Congratulations, Husker fans and the Nebraska football program. You are a part of history.
History.
Doesn't have anything to do with the blackout or we'll talk about the beer thing here in just a little bit and how that got corrected. But no, this is a different thing. This is from Arbitrary Analytics. Arbitrary Analytics. Do a nice job. A lot of arbitrary analytics out there.
Yeah, it gives what it promises.
Yeah, this is good. I don't know where they come up with this stuff, but I trust it now because it's all been good so far. After the Huskers' 4-point loss to USC, they tied New Mexico, the University of New Mexico, from 1986 to 2003. The University of New Mexico had 60 one-score losses over those 18 years.
Okay.
60 one-score losses in 18 seasons. Nebraska is now at least tied, and they still have 3 games left this year, so which means 3 more opportunities to lose one-score games. Nebraska is going to be at least tied for the most one-score losses over a span of 8, year 1 through year 18. So I guess it's 19 seasons ever. I mean, that's
wow.
Yeah, the most one-score losses. So, congratulations. You have endured the most pain out of anyone ever. Husker fans always say, no, you don't understand. Our pain is worse than your pain. And I always say, come on, man, get a grip. Everybody loses. Everybody goes through hard times. Like, you aren't special. Turns out you are. This is the worst. This is the worst. Losing the 60, at least 60 one-score games over the span of the last 18 years. And nobody has done it more in that time frame than the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So, like I said, congratulations are in order.
I guess
because you have endured it.
Yeah.
You have suffered and you are still alive.
You're gonna do it.
Now you might be flying off you might be flying off the handle right now. You might be freaking out. You might be like, dude, it has been a long time. All right. And I don't know how much more I have left in you. How much have we heard that sentiment? I don't know how much more I can take. I got the black lung. That's what's happening right now. People and so I think that in part answers our question of why are people so emotional yesterday? Because
probably some past trauma in there.
They've just endured so much. And really, we're talking about people, not only the people who follow the program on a day-to-day, because if you follow the program on a day-to-day, you've really endured a lot. If you care about the other stuff, if you care about the non-football parts, there's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of reasons to believe that things just won't work out, given who you hire and people who you put in various positions. There's just been a lot of reasons to say this won't work. And so you're scarred and you have trauma if you fought it on a day-to-day basis. But if you follow it on a day-to-day basis, you also follow the football part, and the football part doesn't make you happy. On Saturdays, 61 score losses over 18 years. And even if you just follow the football and you disassociate Monday through Friday, you're like, who's the coach? Who are the players? I know the quarterback. I like this team. I'm rooting for him. You've still endured so much pain. So congratulations. Your pain is worse. Nice job. Nice job. That's your stat of the day from Arbitrary Analytics.
Thank you, Arbitrary Analytics.
Yesterday, Matt Brown, Extra Points Matt Brown, did some reporting via FOIAs on how much booze everybody was selling. McMuffin, it was you. Give me the booze. So
excellent use of FOIA.
So yeah, 100%. This is exactly what Matt Brown does. Yeah. I don't think that this is what FOIAs were created for, but I think this is why Matt Brown does FOIAs. Like stupid crap like this, and to get random emails during coaching searches and stuff like that, which are all great. It's great content. But he follows up on a story that he had yesterday where Nebraska was second in total booze revenue. And now he says they are first. He says, I deeply regret to inform all of you that my original story had the wrong data for Wisconsin. Here is the corrected alcohol sales chart after talking with the school. Your actual leader among my data is Nebraska. That's right. I got the booze. Give me the money. Give me the money. That's what they said. Give me the booze and give me the money. What's the guy at the end of Vegas Vacation where he croaks at the keynote? I won the money. The money is mine. I won the money. And then he just croaks, right? And then he wakes up. And he goes, oh. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I just really like that part of Vegas Vacation. So shout out to Matt Brown. Great reporting. And shout out to Nebraska, champions of pain and champions of booze. Look at that. Oh, how times have changed.
And what's her name on the Board of Regents didn't want this to happen. They don't want
Kathy.
You to succeed. They don't want you to be happy. Kathy, where you at?
Well, some people would say that people are unhappy, which leads them to the booze. So you might not have one without the other.
Yeah, I can't control that.
I'm just saying that's what some people would say. Right. So
I would go there to support a great local business like Cross Strain and their Corn Husker Crusher.
Me too. And I would drink it happily.
Mm-hmm.
I would drink it if Nebraska was up 14-6 in the third quarter and they had all three of their timeouts left, or if they were tied at 14 and they had only one timeout left.
Funny, Connor. I did walk into this studio at the start of the third quarter. Nebraska was up 14-6, had all their timeouts, and I cracked open a Cornhusker Crusher. And I said, Peter, I'm going to drink this before the show.
Was it better when they had all three timeouts or one timeout?
It was better when they had all three timeouts.
See? And it makes people want to buy more. Makes people want to buy more booze. So, can't help but think that these two things go together. That's why we mentioned them in the same segment. Champions of booze and champions of losing close games. And that's not 18 years. That's not, I don't even know. How do they find this stuff? 18 years. They found that over 18 seasons from 86 to 03, New Mexico had 61 score losses.
There are many 18-year-olds on this football team.
There are many stretches of 18 years throughout time. And there have been many bad teams and many good teams that lose one-score games. But none a better combo over those 18 seasons. Because Nebraska's had good teams and bad teams, but all of them have lost their share of one-score games over these last 18 years. 18 years. Man.
18 years.
Yep.
18 years.
Yep. On her 18th birthday, what did she find out, Josh?
It wasn't his.
It wasn't his. All right. We'll be back. We'll have the polls. We'll tell you what to watch on the other side of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But yes, first a reminder from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties. They are back. Ryan Kalkbrenner is blocking shots in the NBA. He's second in the NBA in blocks. You could take Ryan Kalkbrenner's higher on blocks in the NBA. That might be a good play for you on Underdog. It is a great place to get in on the action. You can do it right now in Nebraska. So like I said, higher or lower on stat categories. Blocks is one of them. Get those picks right. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today and use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present. Nebraska terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing. Get terms _DFS_.html for details. Consider with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Tonight, 6 o'clock, shoot around with Mr. Austin and Mr. Joey.
That's right.
6:30 courtside with John and Tyler Clement.
That's right.
On 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. Game time just after 7 o'clock. Overtime with young Matt after the game at probably about 9:30. Overtime.
And then Matt
will sleep here. And then Matt will show up and do a morning show tomorrow with, I don't know. Probably not Gary. Unless he's doing it from a hotel room in Texas, which is possible.
It is possible.
Well, we'll all find out together. That could be fun. So enjoy the hoops tonight, and make sure you tune in 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. To the polls we go, Josh, at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We had a bunch of them, I think, today. Let's go down and look.
I think we had some during the crossover yesterday about fruit.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, did the OG banana get killed off? See, I guess I believe them when they say that. I haven't looked into this. The whole banana thing.
It was a little difficult to follow, but I think I
There's a lot going on in the crossover. Yeah. 74% said yes. You guys ever eaten a cherry? 86% said yes.
Wow.
Do soup and knitting go together? This is an unequivocal yes.
Yeah.
Wow, 63% is all say yes. That I thought that was going to be an 80 plus.
Probably a large portion of our audience likes soup but doesn't knit, so they're like, no.
But it's the vibe.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
I'm with you.
It's just like Jurassic Park and Twister. It's the same thing. When you drive past a cemetery, are you like, whoa? You just start thinking about stuff, man. There's no place that makes you want to think more than a cemetery. Don't put that poll question.
Okay.
Are you? Yeah, that's what I do. I say, whoa. 66% say no. You guys don't think about the splendor and the wonder. You guys aren't. You don't have the sense of wonder that I do. You just
Probably
don't.
right.
You got to get it. Are you a regular at the cemetery? I'm not. Apparently, Josh is.
Apparently, I am.
I think
that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Definitely 2 times a year. Yeah. That puts you in the regular category. There's very few people that are going more.
Right. Puts me above average visits per year. Yeah.
90% say no.
Wow. Sad.
Do you age into ordering fish and chips? TBD, but I believe Declan.
Yeah, I think he was onto something.
55% say yes. And finally, could you use a long-handled bath brush? I could. I'm not very flexible. I can't reach my back.
Remember, it's an anonymous poll. No one knows who is saying yes.
Except for me. I just said it.
Yeah.
51% said no, but it's close, and your vote counts.
A lot of pride in this audience.
Those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We are watching college football. Maction, baby.
Oh.
Kent State and Ball State, 6 o'clock on ESPN.
Huh?
That's right. And on ESPN2 at that same time, it's Northern Illinois at Toledo. NBA doubleheader on ESPN. Wolves and Knicks at 6:30. Spurs and Lakers at 9. Nothing really lost there.
Did you see the figures of the people that did you hear that YouTube TV only has 10 million subscribers?
No.
I saw that floating around yesterday. Yeah, wow. I would have figured that 60% of the country had YouTube TV.
It's a great service when you have it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a really high percentage in the sports community because I feel like everybody I know is affected by this.
Uh-huh. A great portion, yeah. College basketball, the only ranked team in action tonight are your 23rd ranked Creighton Blue Jays.
Wow, really?
Yeah. They play South Dakota.
Get your Peacock ready.
That's 7 o'clock on Peacock. Johnny Fanta and Nikki Baugh.
Could you imagine
together?
What
a call?
What a crew! You know how people say sometimes nightmare blunt rotation. This is the dream. This is as good as it gets.
I don't know the other broadcast teams on college basketball games tonight, but no team will be more excited about the game they're calling than John Fanta and Nick Baugh. 100%. Just the enthusiasm for basketball as a sport
100%
will bleed through. Blues and Caps on TNT tonight at 6:30. Disney Plus has the Fantastic Four, The First Steps. The film introduces Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, played by Pedro Pascal, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm, the Thing, played by Cousin from The Bear.
Okay. Cousin.
It's an MCU movie.
There you go, Richie.
Please watch it.
I know Richie got an MCU movie.
Yeah, so Disney forgets that they owe us channels on YouTube TV, and they just say, yeah, sure.
Put him in a movie.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
So we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you miss anything, 1620 the zone. Just got a
Andy.
Yeah. Startling comment. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Sorry for everyone's losses out there. The crossover is coming up next.